Hello, how is everybody doing tonight? Thank y'all for being here for the latest episode of the movies that made us. This is the show where I bring together some fellow YouTubers who I have respect for, though that respect varies. Some I respect more than others. We'll get into that later. Um, but This is the show where I bring on some fellow YouTubers whose work I like, and we talk about the movies that made us love movies, and a little bit about YouTube and our YouTube journeys, so to speak. So let me do a couple of shout outs here, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Monster B, what's cracking? We've got Allie here. What's up, Allie? We got Mrs. Erica Lauren Horn Mason here. We got a troll in the chat named Boogie. Some mods, take care of him, please. We got Stephanie here. We got my boy Horror Orman here. We got David Diggs here. We got Tony. We have got another troll. Trolls are out tonight, folks. Richard Scott Inky is here. Keely is here. Thank y'all for being here tonight. What's up, Zombie Girl? How you doing? I like Scream and ice cream. That's a good combination. But thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it. Hey, there's Cody Leach in the chat. What's up, Cody? How you doing? We're having a good holiday season so far. Hope you are too. What's up, RBH? All right, folks. Oh, Monster B, thank you for the $4.99. Appreciate that very much. Let me see. What have I got here for you? Let's give you one of these.
It's garbage day.
All right, there you go, brother. Appreciate that. All right, let me bring on my panel tonight. I've got some good folks here. First up, from the Frank's Media and something channel. It's too long a name. I can't remember it all, but good man. I've been on his channel a number of times. Frank's Media and Reviews. I'm just pulling his leg. Good man. I've been on his channel a couple of times, so I thought I'd return the favor and bring him on here and just troll him incessantly. Frank, how you doing, man?
What's going on? Troll number one. What's going on? Thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed the times I've been on your channel, and you're a good fella, and I like your channel, and so I wanted to learn a little bit more about you. So
Thank you.
This is the forum in which I've chosen. And in this forum, when you're speaking, I can mute this so I don't have to listen. So, but I appreciate you being here, man. How's everything going?
Of course, yeah. Busy. Father of 3 girls, and it's just, that time of year. So just been busy at my household, but, doing great and looking forward to tonight, wearing my nice sweater inspired by your post. Again, if you want to get rid of that creepy doll, just let me know. I have a home for him. So.
What's super creepy about that doll is when you pull the string on him, he doesn't sound like Freddy anymore. He sounds like he's been possessed by mice. It's like it doesn't sound like Freddy. It still makes sounds. It just sounds like mice are inside of him or something. So,
ooh, love it.
But yeah, he's pretty cool. But no, he's gonna have to stay with me. I'm afraid he'll have to stay with me. So, but anyway, thank you again for being here, man. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Also joining me tonight from the BoogeyManny YouTube channel, Manny. What's up, Manny?
What's up, dude? I downed a few little Debbie cakes right before the stream just to get ready, so I'm if I black out, I'm okay. Just know that
if you go into a sugar coma, we'll know.
Yeah, if you see me going like this throughout the stream, I'm okay. And Frank, just to let you know, I am troll number 1. You are troll number 2. Just want to put that out there. Thank you for having me on, Piz. It's a pleasure. I love your channel. Thank you, sir.
Well, I appreciate it, and I've been enjoying your channel as well. So that's why I thought I'd bring you on and get to know you a little better. And this is kind of like our first date.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a nice romantic spot that you brought us out to. So thank you.
Well,
And
I
you
like-
are paying, right?
I like to wine them and dine them.
Okay, there you go. And
But
then there's something
oh-
else, right, that comes after?
I only dine them with Christmas tree cakes, though. That's it.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
So, but thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. You doing all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Just we got some crazy weather here in Texas. It's storming. The thunder is crazy. The lightning is crazy. So it's fun. And then next week for Thanksgiving, it's going to be cold here. And when I say cold, it's like 59, high 59. So I know you're probably like, no. But yeah, it's going to be nice and cold next week. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be much colder here next week for sure. I think we're supposed to get upwards of potentially 5 to 8 or more inches of snow. So
Wow, smokes!
we'll be snowed in. So
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah,
It's pretty when it first starts falling and when you get a little bit on the ground, but then when it's you start getting those
getting
inches,
annoyed.
Yeah, it's like, oh man. So
Yeah.
Got to go to Walmart and get my bread and milk.
Stock up on those little Debbie cakes and the Doritos.
That's true. Yeah, that too. All right, but thank you for being here, Manny. Appreciate it.
Sir, thank you. Thank you.
And also joining me tonight from the Lost River Drive-In. What's up, Nick?
What's up? You were letting everybody know, you were peppering the audience with, you like to bring people on that that you enjoy their content and whatnot. That's going to change tomorrow. I got a Hot Takes Friday the 13th video coming out, and I don't think you're going to like it. But until tomorrow, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that Piz sees me as somebody that he somewhat likes. So I'm going to live that up for the next 24 hours. How you doing?
Well, good timing. You knew to get that video out tomorrow. So.
Yes.
But
I didn't know we were getting snow next week, Piz. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, apparently a lot of it too. So yeah, geez, we'll be snowed in, but we've got lots of movies to watch. So
we do.
But how have you been, man?
I'm doing all right. Aside from once you get into your 30s, stuff just keeps cropping up, man. I've had these stomach issues for over a month now, and I can't see a GI doctor until December 3rd. So I'm just kind of thriving. Not thriving. I'm surviving. But yeah, it's great. I slowly feel myself falling apart. I'm enjoying
it. I'm not a doctor, but I would prescribe some Little Debbie's Christmas tree cake.
Okay.
Stat.
You think those could actually really help?
I think those would help immensely.
Okay.
Immensely.
And I was at the store earlier too.
Also, the Nutty Buddies that are Christmas tree cake inspired, those are really good too.
I saw somebody do a taste test of those the other day, and I was like, "What are these things?"
They're so good.
What do they taste like?
They taste like a regular Nutty Buddy, but they've got like the white. It's like a white chocolate kind of Nutty Buddy.
Okay.
It's really good. It's just a whole different ball game than just a regular Nutty Buddy. So good.
Okay. All right. Well, I now have my prescription. Thank you, Piz.
There you go. Your copay is $450.
Yes.
He said yes.
Well, let's go ahead and dive in. The first half of this show, we're going to be talking about the movies that made us love movies and the movies that made us the movie fans that we are today. And we're all movie buffs here. I think all of us here with an emphasis on horror. But, this question doesn't have to necessarily be horror related. But do you guys remember what's your first movie memory? And Manny, let me start with you.
I'm actually wearing the shirt because I have a little story for you guys.
Are you 15?
14.
H2O is your first movie. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay.
How old did you think I was?
I don't know.
I don't know now.
48, 49.
Oh,
I don't know.
All right. I'm going to leave the stream. Goodbye, guys. Thank you for. No. I was born in 92, and I think this came out in 98?
98.
Yeah. So I was, a young lad. So growing up, I knew of the character Michael Myers, but I hadn't seen any of the films. Thanks to my uncle Jonathan, he was a horror buff, so his room was full of posters and stuff. He's not so into horror anymore, but he also had like a mannequin of Michael Myers. It was kind of just something that was stuffed in his room and it had a mask on. And I always was like, oh, that's so cool. So that's how I learned of Michael Myers. So naturally through like the years for Halloween, I was Michael Myers. I didn't have coveralls. I had overalls. So I was like a hillbilly Michael Myers for a little bit.
You were Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, I was going to say before Rob Zombie.
There you go. So I'll take the credit. Yeah. So it was fun. You know, I never had seen any of the films. Well, my mom knew that I liked Michael Myers, and she wasn't into horror at all. So it was around 98, or it was 98. Halloween H2O was coming out, and she said, let me take this kid to go watch this movie, not knowing that it was a sequel, 20 years later. So we went to the theater, watched the movie. I loved it. And right next door to the theater, there was a park, and it was like a 2-minute drive. So on the way to that park, in that short little drive, I was just thinking the movie was fresh in my mind, and the song Red Red Wine came out. It was playing. So that formed some weird core memory. So now every time I hear Red Red Wine, I think of Halloween H2O. When I watch Halloween H2O, I think of Red Red Wine. It's so weird, but I love that memory so much. So that was the first, not only Halloween that I watched, but the first movie that I remember actually going into the theaters and watching. So
wow,
yeah,
that's really cool.
I mean, I definitely do love Halloween H2O. It's not top 3, but it's definitely up there. I think it's getting better with age, but I think it's a great film.
What's your favorite of all the masks in that movie? Which one is your favorite?
The CGI. That's
okay.
My favorite one.
Right.
Yeah.
Good choice.
That's the only right answer. So
that's the right answer.
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
No, but really, I love that the Halloween 6 mask that they used in the beginning. Like, they should have just kept that.
They should have. They really should have kept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite?
My favorite Halloween movie?
No. Halloween H2O. Is it the first?
I do wish they would have kept the Halloween 6 one. I think that's the best looking one. Mm-hmm. But if you can't have that, you just go with the CGI mask. They should have just CGI'd all the masks in that one together. My favorite part of watching Halloween H2O is watching the masks change, like between cuts. Like Michael will be chasing them and he's wearing one mask.
Yeah.
And they cut, and then they cut back to him and he's wearing a different mask.
He has big bug eyes in one scene. He's like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. That's like one of my favorite parts of Halloween H2O. I was watching, picking out the masks. But yeah. I was in high school when that movie came out, and that was such a huge deal. Wow. H2O was such a huge deal.
I love the ending.
I was 6 years old. Oh, you like the ending, Frank?
Me personally, I think it's one of the better endings in the franchise.
Like that's it. That's the end.
I absolutely agree. I think that would have been the perfect just ending, because it perfectly caps off the brother sister thing. I love it when that like crane shot, and Michael's head rolls and there's that beautiful crane shot, and she's just like, you can see her like, and then that original, the score explodes, just swells. That would have been the perfect ending then and there.
But then we wouldn't have gotten Resurrection, guys.
We wouldn't have gotten Busta Rhymes. I know.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So,
motherfucker.
Yeah. So
I think there was a scene where he was like this at one point. Like, what's going on?
Why? Imagine. That movie came out on my birthday. This was remember when the Weinsteins were releasing those. They didn't want to release them in the fall. They released H2O in August, and they released Resurrection in July. They released Resurrection on my birthday. So that was a great birthday present for me that year.
You know why, right, Piz? Because this summer Terror won't be taking a vacation. So you've got to release them in the summertime. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, those Weinsteins. But Frank, what's your earliest movie memory?
My earliest just happens to be a horror movie, and that was with A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I was born in '83, and just remember seeing Freddy Krueger, like one of my memories that I just love and just gave me nightmare fuel was Freddy Krueger going down the alleyway, blue backdrop, silhouette of Freddy, extended arms. I was scared shitless, man. I mean, just like a little kid. Again, I was born in the '80s, and so in the '80s parenting, like they don't care, man. Like I saw like A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh gosh, the entity. The entity is pretty. It's got some crazy moments in that movie, but it was just my dad and I just remember seeing some great movies. But that's that movie specifically is the one that I remember vividly and just gave me my love for the horror genre for sure. So yeah.
Do you think, and this is for both you and Boogie, Boogie.
Please call me Manny.
So your first movie was Halloween H2O. I know you're a huge Halloween guy. You're also in the Mask game.
Oh yeah.
And Frank, you love Nightmare on Elm Street. Claire, is Nightmare on Elm Street your favorite franchise?
That's
you're wearing the sweater.
I am. I think it's definitely the most sentimental, without a doubt.
Okay. And is that because it was your first?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, without a doubt.
Okay.
Plus, I just love Freddy Krueger. I just love at least the earlier version of him, how scary he was. Later on, I think it was a little too much comical, but still entertaining regardless. And the kills, I mean, I just absolutely love the kills. And thank goodness for like the 4Ks that we just got, because that was just memory lane, and seeing some of those beautiful kills in 4K was so beautiful. It was gorgeous, man. I loved the detail and everything. So yeah.
Eli's outed you. You're
matching my
so Eli's outed you there.
Yeah, man.
But Manny, do you think that, since Halloween H2O was your first horror movie, that kind of is Halloween your favorite franchise?
Yeah, I think so. I think Halloween H2O definitely adds to it, but just growing up with my uncle being such a big influence, like especially because he liked Michael Myers specifically, just that really added to it. And I mean, I don't know, like the way Frank was saying how some later on those Nightmare on Elm Street movies got a little silly. Michael's never really gotten silly. Like he's always been pretty, straightforward, and that's what I really like. The day that Michael goes to space, then that might change my opinion. But yeah, I think Halloween is my favorite franchise. But I mean, I love them all. I love Texas Chainsaw. I'm not really big on like Chucky and stuff, but yeah, Halloween is definitely my favorite franchise.
And Nick, I know you're a huge Halloween fan.
No.
Was Halloween your first movie memory?
No, so my first movie memory is The Wizard of Oz, and I remember those flying monkeys scaring the absolute crap out of me. Like
those were
children should not be seeing that personally. But my first horror movie experience was The Exorcist. And some of you guys, and I was like 6, and my son's going to be 6 next month, and I can't tell you a world where I can fathom showing him The Exorcist. Now, in my mom's defense, I guess her whole thing was like, obviously growing up in a very religious household, she was like, you guys need to see this to understand evil, and like that there's evil in the world and stuff, and this
can happen to you.
Yeah. So I remember being like, oh my God. And like my mom was the type of person, we'd move into a new house and she would get olive oil and like bless the windows and the doors and stuff and pray over it. Like that was how my mom was. So she thought, rite of passage, The Exorcist. And scared the absolute crap out of me. Like I'm not even going to sit here and be like, no, dude, I loved it. And like from that day, I was just like, no, dude, it scared me like to death. But I think the first of like the big three I remember was A Nightmare on Elm Street. And Freddy scared me too. So, but the first movie, Wizard of Oz, in those damn monkeys, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Those monkey. Well, the witch too. The witch and it was pretty freaky.
It's unnecessary, for small children. Like it really is. I don't understand it. But my mom had weird criteria. I think I've briefly told you about that before, Piz. It's like, as a kid, we'd rent a movie at Blockbuster where we'd rent like 3 or 4 every Friday night. And she'd always let us pick one, and her and my stepdad would pick one, and then we'd all agree on one. And the one her and my stepdad would always pick would always be a horror movie. And I remember watching like Ghost Ship, 13 Ghosts, like that era, like Dark Sky specifically. Or was that Castle Rock or Dark? I don't know. Anyway, I always got to cover your eyes. There's boobs on the screen. You guys can't see that. You're 6 years old and Linda Blair is possessed and violating herself with a crucifix. You can watch that. So
right.
I don't understand, but hey, here I am.
Were they so even though it was a religious household, it sounds like they weren't restrictive when it came to what you could rent, or was there anything that was like off, like you can't rent that?
No, my mom was very much, because being a child of the 80s, well, she was born in the 60s, so she was a teenager in the 80s. So she saw all these things in theaters. So she loved horror movies. So yes, we went to church every Sunday and we weren't allowed to cuss, or she'd, give us a teaspoon of hot sauce and stuff like that. But horror movies, well, yeah, that's just kind of what we do. Which is why I think growing up, when I always heard this stuff, like the sensationalism about like, oh, video games and movies are making people do stuff, I knew that was BS, because like I grew up in a very religious household, and like even my mom didn't believe that crap. Like, but so no, everything else, there was a line drawn, but horror movies, so long as they didn't have boobs, they were A-okay.
Murder, demon possession, A-okay.
Disembowelment, but
that's where you draw the line.
That's where we draw the line here.
There's a nipple on there, we're done.
I remember when I was younger, again, it was just my dad and I just remember cable TV, and just that was basically no restrictions. And I just remember watching USA Network, and back in the day, they used to show boobs, and like, I was like, what the hell? I mean, it was just pretty eye-opening, of course, but like back in the day, they didn't care. At least it wasn't as restricted, of course. So yeah.
Were your parents restrictive as to what you could watch or not watch, Manny?
No, well, not really. I wouldn't say that, but we didn't. I mean, we had cable, but there was really no boobs or anything. There was one nasty channel, but we didn't pay for it, so it was all fuzzy. But every now and then, if you caught it right, you would see a nipple, and that was like, you would have to look over your shoulder just to make sure no one was coming in. And then, of course, there was like the after the Nick at Night, in those late nights, there's
the Girls Gone Wild commercials.
Yeah. So
Oh
you
my
really
God,
have to have your finger on that button to go switch back to PBS or something, just in case someone walks in, because you never know.
Then it was a game changer in high school and junior high, where you had the Skinamax on HBO at like 1 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
that was a game changer.
Hilarious. No, I mean, I can watch pretty much whatever I want. There was no restriction, at least not from what I remember.
We've got Christian here with us tonight. What's up, Christian? So it sounds like I oddly enough was in the most restrictive household growing up, because I had to, everything I wanted to rent, I had to take the box to my mother, and she'd have to look at the front and the back, and if it just a lot of stuff got nixed right there. So
did you ever get one over on her? Like, you knew you shouldn't have been watching it, but No. Okay.
She was pretty with it. She could get a good read on the movie just by looking at the box, and so but like all the big franchises were off limit. So it was the longest time before Halloween is the only exception, because for her generation, Halloween was her generation's Scream. Mm-hmm. It was like the horror movie that everybody went and watched and everybody liked. So Halloween was okay, And one of my earliest memories is Halloween 2 and watching poor Ben Tramer die. And that really freaked me out because it wasn't just like he got killed, he got annihilated, he got obliterated. So I'd never seen anything like that before. So that's
I love watching that scene. I love that scene so much.
The best part of that scene is that Loomis just leaves. He just
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
him burning.
Yeah, Loomis is like, well, there's nothing we can do, you know. Get
Yeah,
the
I always
marshmallows.
surprise people that my first entry into the Halloween franchise was Halloween 4, and the scariest person to me was Jamie Lloyd at the end of the movie because I was
Oh,
I was at the same age as her, and so seeing that, like a kid my age doing that, especially at the end of the movie, right? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Frank, you're not alone. I'll tell you, my mom, the scariest thing for Halloween 4 for her was also Jamie Lloyd, but that was because she couldn't stand her. Because as she put it, isn't that just the little girl that cries all the time? So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Well, they remedied that in the next one because she was
Yeah.
mute for most of the
Yeah.
movie. So.
There you go.
But honestly, I think the scariest part of Halloween 4 is when Bucky dies. Our hero.
Yeah.
No, that's
dies.
the best part. That's the best
Oh
part.
saddest
my
part.
gosh.
So
There you go. There we go.
We'll just we'll move
Now we're
on here.
talking.
We'll move on here. This is now a Bucky tribute episode.
There we go. Everyone put your hands over your heart.
Do I have anything here with Bucky? Hold on.
Hey, you. This city property. No trespassing. What are you, deaf? Don't try that Halloween shit with me.
And Frank, don't try any of that anti-Bucky shit with me, okay? That's not going to get you anywhere, man.
Oh, dear.
So I don't know where to go from here.
All right, guys, good job.
I knew that
everybody.
would get you, buddy. I knew that would get you.
I'm stumped here at this point. So what was the I think we were all around during the video store era, right? Manny, you probably got the tail end of it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember going to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and all that.
Okay. Do you remember any gems that you discovered at the video store? Just totally blind rentals that became some of your favorites. Frank, let's start with Frank here.
Oh, you putting me on the spot.
But you on
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't know. Because I remember going our big one here in Portland, and it's still around, and so that's phenomenal because a lot of places closed ever since COVID. But it's Mike's Movie Madness, and people are from Portland, like they know about that place. And for me, I lived in Southeast Portland, and which was just a few blocks away. And so my dad and I used to go there all the time. And over at Mike's Movie Madness, they just had movie memorabilia, and it's still there to this day. And it's just, I just remember going in as a kid, obviously seeing those bright lights, going in, seeing all this pretty cool movie memorabilia that I obviously had no idea what's it about, and just lines of movies, and just going with my dad. And so, so I don't really know, to be honest with you, because one, I'm old. I feel old, and so like I don't remember, I guess, a specific movie that really caught my eye at the time. I think I just remember the times going with my dad, just him and I, and having those great memories, just talking about movies, looking at the covers, that smell, that movie store smell. And I think all of that just brings me great joy, and that's part of the reason why I'm a movie collector as well. Just a lot of great memories. I do remember picking up Critters. I remember picking up Critters with my dad, and that is a good intro into the horror genre. And so I actually had one of my girls watch that with me, and they're young, and so that was just like really enjoyed it. But that's one of the movies that I remember as a kid renting over at Mike's Movie Madness is Critters. So yeah, good question, man. Because I haven't really thought about that until you just mentioned it, and I just remember like all of it kind of coming back to me. So yeah.
The whole Critters series was just like a video store staple. You just saw those boxes, and it just felt right to see those in the horror section at the video store. Manny, you probably got into video stores, at the tail end before they went defunct. But any memories of favorite rentals or blind rentals that really made an impact on you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a favorite or like even a gem, but just one of the core memories that I have of just kind of browsing those sections besides the, Girls Gone Wild VHS. After that, there was one, and it's very foggy, just like Frank, you kind of brought back. I have to dig in my mind for some memories, but it's that horror film that I think it's is it Frosty the Snowman, the
Jack Frost?
Jack Frost, yeah. So am I remembering this correctly? Was the cover like
it was lenticular? Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so I remember like seeing like a nice snowman, and then I was like, wait a second, he has sharp teeth, like what the heck. That's just like a core memory. I love that. And another one, it's not horror, but The Mask with Jim Carrey. I remember seeing, with his hat there. That's so nostalgic. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but that one, I think that one's pretty good from what I remember. But Jack Frost, I don't know, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I wouldn't even.
It holds up. You should revisit it. It holds up. You should revisit it this holiday season for sure.
Okay, definitely.
It's fun. Yeah, still definitely fun. What about you, Nick?
So one, I would say House on Haunted Hill was one that I remember we rented not long after it came out, and that I don't think any of us had any idea, like what it was or what to expect. It was just one of those ones that we got, and that one has become an all-timer for me. I adore that movie. The Ring was another one that we rented kind of blind and was really, really surprised by that one. It's not like these movies are like underrated gems. It's just like my first experience with some of these was renting them from Blockbuster and us just kind of going into them blind, and they became, just staples. There is one, two that came out around the same time, White Noise with Michael Keaton, which I really dig that movie, and Stay Alive. And Stay Alive is not good. I've watched it in my adulthood, and I can look back on it and be like, this is pretty flawed. But I remember renting that. Oh my gosh, my mom hated it. My stepdad hated it. And I was like, this is awesome. This is so fun. A lot from that era, like the early 2000s, a lot of horror movies from that era. The first time I watched it was just blind from Blockbuster, and a lot of them are ones that are some of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Cabin Fever too. Sorry.
I owned a copy of Predator on VHS. Now, this was back in the day where, family homes, you had one television, it was in the living room, and everybody shared it. And I was constantly watching Predator. And sometimes I think I watched it just to annoy my mother, because she hated all that macho bravado and all the, just, she wasn't a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger to begin with. But all that, the macho dialogue and all, she would just, I hate that man. I hate Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't, oh my God, I can't believe, she would just get so annoyed by me watching Predator all the freaking time. But God, I love that movie. And I wore that VHS out, man. So.
Yeah, just really quick, your question about the movie store, obviously brought back memories for each of us. But a memory just popped up to me as like seeing my first movie in the theater when I was a young kid, and just that was Home Alone. I remember watching Home Alone when I was a kid, and I laughed so much that my dad would say, "Shut up, shut up," shut up, because I was just laughing so loud. And watching The Fifth Element later on in life in the theater and here in Portland at the biggest screen at the time, and like, yeah, man, it's just again just what made us into movie lovers and collectors and all this other stuff. So yeah, great memories.
My first theater experience, I think, was The Phantom Menace. I was 4, and I have vague memories of it. I do remember we saw it. I think that was the first one I remember. And then by Attack of the Clones, because 70% of that movie is just talking and rolling around in grass. So my brother and I were pretty bored. I remember we were running up and down the aisles with our lightsabers, like while the movie was just going. But yeah, Phantom Menace was my first theater experience.
The audience probably didn't care because you were probably far more entertaining than that.
Oh
movie.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie going, the theater experience, although it's changed, the core elements that make it special are still there. There's something special about going and watching a movie at the theater. And I've had some great theater experiences. I've told the story of going and watching Jason Goes to Hell was my very first movie I ever saw in the theater, and it was the very first Friday the 13th movie I saw in the theater. And so that movie is always going to be special to me for that alone. You mentioned Cabin Fever. I saw that in the theater opening weekend, and talk about cracking up. The pancake scene, I was practically in the aisle. I was laughing so hard at that.
I still can't not laugh. And I mean, my mom said, I remember when we watched that movie at home, and she turned and went, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was just so out of left field, but it was hilarious. And yeah, a lot of great movie experiences. The theater's changed though, as far as it's gotten more comfortable, but at the same time, it's gotten, I think, a lot more inconvenient with 45 minutes of commercials and trailers, and go get your Pepsi, go get your Skittles, and
people on cell phones.
Maria Menounos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, shut up, get off my screen.
Yeah.
I think it also changes too. I know for me, like we're all very passionate about movies, and so I think it was, and my wife knows about this as well, and so it's important for me to try to have my girls have a positive experience with movies and everything, and so they love going to the movie theater. And my wife knows. So I have 3 girls, twin 8s, and a 4-year-old, and so just she knows like how much joy I get taking my kids out, because it's brings just positive memories. I don't know, just warms my heart, and I'll never forget like some great experiences. Like the first time they had no idea that Anakin turns into Darth Vader, and we saw.
Wait, what?
Spoiler!
Yeah.
What the hell?
I gotta go piss. I gotta go.
Yeah, and their
Damn.
jaw dropped, and it was one of my favorite movie experiences ever. So it was fantastic.
You said twin 8-year-olds and a 4-year-old?
Yes, sir.
My lord, you haven't slept in a decade, have you?
No.
Yeah. Woo.
That's why he's wearing that sweater.
That's why he's wearing the sweater. Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys, did you ever growing up as horror fans, did you ever experience any stigma from being a horror fan, from schoolmates or peers, or even adults in your life? Nick, you're shaking your head. Go ahead and fill us in.
Yeah, no, it's just I was the 6'4", 16-year-old that at the time I weighed like 140 pounds, so I basically just looked like Slender Man. Not really that far off now, and I've gained 50 pounds since then, so it was a bit better. But and I was always wearing horror movie T-shirts to school, and where I lived and where I grew up, and I think you guys can relate to this too, being a little bit older than me, but like even when I was in high school, it wasn't cool to be like a huge horror fan like it is these days. Like it wasn't like everyone was walking around with these t-shirts and stuff. And it was like, oh, did you go check out the new, Hellraiser movie this weekend? It wasn't like that. There was like 5 of us in my high school that would wear t-shirts like that. And I was one of them. So it was weird because when I was in junior high and like my freshman year, I played sports and I was more in with the in crowd. And then I was like, yeah, this isn't really for me. And I stopped playing sports and I started wearing band t-shirts and horror movie t-shirts. And people were like, oh, that guy's weird. And so, yeah, I don't know if I do know that my older brother, Tyler, he would love to harass me. And he was a linebacker. He's much bigger than me. And so he knew he could always get under my skin and I wouldn't do anything because he would pummel me. And whenever he'd piss me off or whatever, and I'd get frustrated, he'd be like, don't kill me, Michael. Don't kill me in my sleep, Michael. He'd say stuff like that. So he definitely gave me a hard time. But it just wasn't popular. Even 15 years ago, it's crazy to see how different it is now, I guess. It's like now everybody's like, oh, I love horror movies. And it's like, where were you guys at when I was 17? Everybody made me feel like I was, I don't know, something was wrong with me. But I got my fair share of it.
It was really Scream that changed everything, because I remember prior to I had a negative experience in I think it might have even been kindergarten or maybe first grade or something. I had gotten Universal Monsters Valentine's cards, and this is when you would hand out Valentine's cards to your classmates, and I'm handing out Valentine's cards with Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, the bride, all these awesome, cool characters, thinking like everybody, I'm going to be the coolest kid in the class. You know what I mean? And no, I learned very early on, not everybody is into that. And it kind of pissed people off. Actually, I had one of my classmates walk up to me and he literally threw it at me and called me a freak. Now, I was just a little tiny kid, but I knew at that moment, okay, this isn't everybody's cup of tea. And for a long time, I didn't bring it up really that I liked horror movies, because I didn't want to be the freak. So, but and that was, at least with the people who I hung out with in high school, they weren't horror people. But when Scream happened, all that changed. So horror was cool. It was acceptable. Everybody was talking about horror, and it just, something changed. That movie changed everything. I think it's still cool now because of Scream. Scream changed the culture, really. I've told this story before too, but in art class on the internet, I'm trying to find any information on Halloween 6 on the internet, on this brand new thing called the internet. And my buddy's sitting next to me looking up God knows what, but he looks over and there's a picture of Michael Myers on my screen, and he goes, you don't really like that, do you? This is my best friend in the world. He goes, you don't really like that, do you? I mean, that sucks. But he said it was such disdain, and she was so disappointed in me as a human being. The next year, Scream comes out. All he can talk about is Scream. And because Scream had referenced all these other horror movies, now he's wanting to know about The Town That Dreaded Sundown. He's wanting to know about Prom Night. He's wanting to know about Terror Train. He's wanting to know about, so, and that was just about everybody was now into horror because of that movie.
What's funny is, even when I was in high school, the way that I dressed and the stuff I watched and the music I listened to was a good way to get girls to not want to date you. And ironically, now it's like an aphrodisiac, where it's like, oh my God, you love these movies? I love them too. And it's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. No, it came in waves though. I can't speak. I was a little kid when Scream came out, but when I was a teenager, that was the remake craze. And I think that's when it started to become popular again. And then it kind of wasn't cool anymore for a while. We were in the doldrums of the 2010s. And then I think the requel craze has made it cool again with Gen Z. But it's like it's peaks and valleys, and unfortunately I was in one of those valleys for most of my schooling career, and it kind of sucked.
Yeah. Manny, you're a little younger. Was horror accepted by your friend group, or did you ever feel stigmatized by your horror fandom?
Well, I was the trendsetter, so anything I liked became cool. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding. In school, no. I mean, I would rock my Halloween shirts, whatever, the little ones that I had. But as we're talking about this, I think I blocked it out of my head. About 2 months ago, we went. Won't say their names, but we, caught up with some friends that we hadn't seen in a while, and the spouse looked at me, and of course I was wearing a Halloween. I was wearing some horror shirt. She looked at me with a straight face, and she said, "What do you get out of that?" And I was so thrown off. We were having breakfast. I was like, I don't know. Like, it's cool. Like, I love these movies. And she's like, but why? Like, what's the reason? She's like, why do you like to see all that stuff? And I'm just like, I was so thrown off. I think I was eating an omelet. I was like, I looked at my wife. I was like, and you could just swim. It was so thick, the air. I was like, gosh, but yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I like it. That's my YouTube channel. And she's like, oh, that's what it is. I'm like, yeah, like, okay, like whatever. So I brushed it off. I forgot about it until right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually just had almost the same conversation, but with my wife.
Oh,
Like, yeah, because my wife doesn't like horror. Like, it's very rare that she does like some horror movies, and they're very tame. But like, she knows me. Like, I literally can watch horror movies every single damn day. Piz knows, like, I do reviews on my channel, but if there's something that catches my eye that's horror related, instead of like a very popular movie to do that, I know that's going to get clicks or some other bullshit, like, I don't care. Like, I will pick the horror movie like 10 out of 10 times. But with my wife, gosh, what movie was it? I'm trying to remember what movie, because it was just like last week that we had that conversation. Like, she said, like, she wishes like she liked horror movies because she knows that like I'm very passionate about it. But because she said, like, why do you like horror so much and stuff like that, and so it's it got me thinking, obviously, but and that's part of the reason why I started the YouTube channel, is to connect with other individuals who love the horror genre and who like collecting movies. But like, it got me thinking of, obviously not everyone likes the movies that we like, but there's just something about the horror genre, those slasher movies, those found footage films, those body horror films, that like I just gravitate to. The silliness of like the 80s, right? And so like Frankenhooker, I freaking love that movie. I love how silly it is. I like how over the top that movie is. But there's just something that a joy that I get than any other action movie. Like, there's some that I really love, like The Fifth Element and stuff, and other movies, but there's nothing like the horror genre for me. So yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you said that, Manny, because like I literally had that same conversation, but with my wife. So
I'm no longer friends with that other person. Just letting you know.
I can't do that. So
well, I used to say that like the scariest movie I ever saw was Paradise Lost, that documentary, because like that community wasn't that different from the community I grew up in. So like, if something like that had happened in my community, they'd be looking, okay, well, who around here likes horror movies? Because it's got to be somebody who's, it can't just be a normal person. It's got to be some freak who likes watching horror movies that would do something like that. Who's listening to horror movies, or who's listening to metal music and watching horror movies? I'd be on that list somewhere. You know what I mean?
They're like, and they have to have Little Debbie cakes. Who is this? And they're just
exactly. Yeah. We found green sprinkles at the crime scene.
Yeah. Who could that be?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
damn.
narrows it down. But it's interesting. And you know, I mean, I grew up in Kentucky, and I had some very religious relatives. And I actually remember one time, this isn't even horror movie related. I had long hair. I was a little kid and I had long hair. And this woman, I don't remember what relation she was to me, but just this creepy old woman. And she goes, "You know, you'll go to hell for having long hair."
Oh my gosh.
And I went, "But Jesus has long hair." "Oh, yeah. You'll go to hell for having long hair." I was just like, holy shit. If she only knew what I was watching when she wasn't here, you know, she'd be dragging me out to a tree and, like, you know, trying to whip the devil out of me. But yeah, so
You probably sent that lady into a spiral when you told her
Probably
Jesus had
did.
long hair. She was probably thinking about it all.
yeah, that made her,
He's right. He's right.
yeah, she converted to Buddhism the next day. So yeah, geez. Well, you know, I talk about impact movies during these shows, and what I mean by an impact movie is a movie that, like, for instance, my impact movie was True Romance. That was the movie that I watched that sort of, like, I was having all these epiphanies while watching it, because I was like, movies can be more than just entertainment, because, like, this dialogue is so great. Like, somebody really talented had to write this dialogue, and, like, these actors are so talented, they're so good, and, like, this director is so stylish. Like, there's an art that goes into making movies too, and that's what made me kind of pay attention to who the director is and who the writer is, and pay attention to actors' names. You know, like, up until that point, like, honestly, if I would look at, like, the credits on certain horror movies and, like, try and keep an eye out for, like, is Kane Hodder, did he do anything in this? And George Wilbur, was he, like, is a stuntman or whatever? But, like, True Romance really kind of was my awakening into movies can be art. Like, movies, if you put a bunch of talented people together, you can make a really, really great movie, and that there's a skill that goes into making these things. Was there a particular movie for you guys that had that kind of impact on you?
I guess I'll go first. Yeah, for me it was Old Boy, and that's because it opened my eyes to foreign films, and just, like, I saw Ringu before that, but still Old Boy was more impactful, and just it's become one of my favorite films of all time. Like, for me, it's a top 5 film for me, but just the way that the story, the acting, the storyline, how wonderful that movie is, and it was so captivating for me.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, vividly of, like, just some of those crazy ass scenes, and just me afterwards, like, thinking, this movie is so freaking good. What other foreign films am I missing that's here? Because we're Americans, like a lot of other Americans, like, they just stay away from foreign films. It could be because of the subtitles. It could just because it's just a foreign movie in general. But for me, it really just opened my eyes. And foreign films, for me, like, I'm huge into foreign films. And yeah, to me, Old Boy was a gateway. So yeah.
And Old Boy is so good. That is such a great freaking movie. Like, that long scene of him just fighting all those guys in the hall,
Mhm.
and that reveal at the end is just so traumatic, yet, like, beautiful. Like, the first time I watched that, like, I was both, like, shook, and I had, like, but I had a huge grin on my face too, because I was like, this is a great freaking movie.
Yeah,
And even when you rewatch it, because I've rewatched it, I don't know how many times, like, it still has that impact.
and the music to me is so
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
good. I think it's just perfect for it.
Did you see the remake?
With Josh Brolin?
Yeah. Don't.
I love Josh Brolin too, man. But yeah,
Like it was a Spike Lee movie too. So I was kind of like, well, maybe Spike and Josh can do something with this thing. God, it's bad. It's so bad. So bad. Yeah. But you bring up an interesting point with foreign movies, and I'm a huge giallo guy, and I love J horror too. And that was a big thing for me to discover horror from abroad back in the day. And of course, Old Boy was one of those that I eventually caught up with. So I guess I got to thank Anchor Bay for that, because they introduced me and so many, like an entire generation of people, to Italian horror and J horror and just horror from all over the globe that I had no idea was even a thing. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people, when it comes to subtitles, they just, like, it immediately turns them off and they don't want to go there. And that's unfortunate, because they miss out on a lot of great, it's not a lot of reading, for God's sake, but yeah, so many great movies from abroad. And Old Boy, if you guys haven't seen Old Boy, just a brilliant film.
Yeah,
Brilliant film.
Masterpiece, man.
Yeah. Manny, what was your impact movie?
I don't know if people are going to judge me when I say this, but when I watch this film, I feel so powerful. The music, amazing. And that's Batman from 1989. When I watch that film, I just,
hell yeah,
man, I love it so much. The Joker, Jack Nicholson's amazing. You got this guy that looks like every other guy, but he puts that suit on. He's a badass. His car is cool. The ending when he's looking, at the bat signal, and the Danny Elfman's music is just so powerful. I get chills when I hear it, and that was my introduction to Batman. 89. That was like my first thing. I was like, "What the heck?" I was very young, so I mean, till this day, I think I'll watch that movie like 4 or 5 times throughout the year. It's so good. I love it so much. That movie talks to me.
And people, I don't think people today, they're, when they think of Batman, they think of, the Dark Knight. They think of the dark, brooding, Batman. But before Tim Burton's Batman was pretty much zoink, pow, the super campy. That was everybody's. When you thought Batman, you thought that Batman, or campy. The comic book version of Batman. That movie was so impactful that, it pretty much, the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, they went back to the campy stuff a little bit, Batman and Robin particularly, but then they course corrected immediately back to
with the Dark Knight.
Yeah. So
but yeah,
but that was one of the movies, like that movie and Terminator 2, like those were event movies. And I don't know if we still have event movies. Like those were the two, like still when I think of event movies, those are the two biggest ones of my life, because you couldn't escape those movies. Wherever you went, there was a bat signal or there was something T2 related. It was on, it was all over, commercials. The trailer was everywhere. The actors were everywhere. You had the bat signal or T2 on your French fry container. Every shirt at the store was Batman or T2 or something. It just doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
I think the last one is Endgame Avengers.
Yeah.
I 100%. I think like that one, that was like a spectacle. And I think like regardless, like if the movie's going to be bad or not, I think the new one, I think that's coming out next year, will be a huge event as well. But yeah, I think coming to mind, I think that's the last one.
Yeah, but I think like the score alone of a film can just, John Williams for Star Wars, like that music alone is so powerful. But if I can I share a quick story about Batman?
Of course.
So, and I hope the story doesn't get me canceled. I'm just kidding.
Oh, so, my the cursor is hovering above.
I know. Please don't kick me out. No, it's silly. So, I don't know. I had to be like 5 years old. I was Batman for Halloween. And the one year that I wasn't Michael Myers, And my mom, when she had me, she was 21, so she was, very young. So Halloween happened to fall like on a Saturday, I think, or something. So she was gonna go out. She left me with my uncle, and she was like, "Here, take him out trick or treating. He's gonna be Batman." I bought him some black paint for his eyes. So okay, so I give my uncle the paint, and tell me why this guy starts putting paint on my mouth. He just starts going like this, and I'm just like, no, 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 his eyes. And my uncle's like, "Oh, be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, that I love Batman. Like his mouth isn't dark. So not only did he do my mouth, he did my eyes. So the whole night I was just a silhouette of a with a little yellow symbol on it.
So you were like truly the Dark Knight. You were just the shadow.
I almost got Ben Tramered a couple times, but yeah, it was so. I was like so embarrassed. I think I like went like this throughout the night, but I had like a 5 o'clock shadow. It just looked very odd, but yeah, that's my story on my uncle, how he did me dirty.
Yeah, my good. He knew too. He was just messing with you.
Oh, he knew, and I think I brought it up to him a few years ago, and he's like, "What? I would never do that." I'm like, "You did." I remember.
He was trolling. He was trolling.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it to him one day.
You need to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
What was a big impact movie for you, Nick?
Star Wars, and I mean specifically 77 Star Wars, not A New Hope. I know that's what we call it nowadays. I get it. That changed. I think that's what made me fall in love with movies. The music, the fact that this was happening in space. They had laser pistols and light, so like laser swords and shit. And I was like, this is insane. And I fell in love with that movie. I wore that VHS tape out. I mean, I wore it out. I remember one of my favorite houses we lived in, we had a finished basement. And you guys, everybody knows how cool a finished basement is. All right. A lot of houses have basements, but when it's finished, like carpeted and everything, it's like, oh, this is the real deal. This is a whole nother floor to the house. Mm-hmm. And I would sit down there and I'd wear that VHS tape out. And that's what actually really got me into movies. And then as far as like going down the line of like when I got interested in like, oh, I need to see what other things this cinematographer has done or this director or this actor, it really was Halloween. I remember after the first time I saw Halloween, I was like, what else has John Carpenter made? What else has this Jamie Lee Curtis been in? And, but I'd say my love of film started with Star Wars, but I will give an honorable mention to my favorite, and I'm not a big musical fan, but my favorite musical of all time, Grease. And I don't care what anybody says. All right. I love Grease. So just saying, I wanted to be Danny Zuko when I was growing up. So
Cool.
Can I pick? Sorry,
sure.
Sorry.
Go for it.
You can't really remember the last time it was like a big blockbuster. When The Force Awakens came out, that was huge. I remember like 2015.
That was line outside the theater. I bought my tickets like a month in advance, and we showed up at midnight. Line outside the theater, dude.
Yeah,
dude. I think I watched that movie like 6 times in theater. I mean, I love Star Wars, but I had huge Star Wars fever when around 2015 when that came out. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. Yeah, I'd kind of forgotten about The Force Awakens, but yeah, that was beyond huge. And I don't know if you guys remember that trailer when it first premiered.
Oh, but
that trailer was epic.
That was the day before Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving in 2015 or 2016. And I remember because we as a family, we got a cabin in Gatlinburg. And me and my brothers, it was that night, and one of my brothers was like, dude, they just dropped the Star Wars teaser. And we all got together, and we pulled it up on the TV in the cabin, and we all watched it together for the first time. I'll never forget the feeling I had. And we like audibly said stuff when you get the shot near the end of the teaser with the Millennium Falcon just like comes out of nowhere, and it's flying over the sand dunes. I was like, oh, my God, it's Star Wars. Like, that was incredible. Yeah, that movie – Endgame, I would say, is fair too, because both of those movies, I think Endgame passed 1 billion worldwide week 1. Whereas
Mhm.
I think The Force Awakens did too, just massive. Like everybody went and saw them. I would actually also throw in No Way Home. I think No Way Home is the biggest movie we've had since. Like I think that's the last one that was like that.
Bro, let me tell you, when I watched No Way, I grew up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. When, of course, there was rumor that he was come out, and I had the most like craziest jitters I've ever had. I was squirming in the seat. I could not hold myself. My wife was just looking at me. She was like, "Dude, like you're making me nervous." So pretty much by the end of the night, we were both like this kind of like. I had a big soda. I had a popcorn. I didn't eat anything. Finally, when I saw him, I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" On screen, spoilers. But yeah, that movie was huge too.
And that thing, the funny thing about No Way Home is like I followed all the leaks. I'm not a Marvel guy. I haven't seen like any of the Marvel movies, but when I heard like a year out that they were both going to be in it, Andrew and Toby, I was like, okay, if this is real, I'm going to go see this one. And I followed all the leaks, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're in it. And a buddy of mine got a screener a couple days before it came out, and I messaged him just to be sure. And I said, hey, can you just tell me, are they in it? He was like, yep. And I was like, cool, I'm there. Like, that's all I needed to know. So, yeah, that was interesting. You and I, Manny, I would say we being around the same age. Toby was our Spider-Man as a kid.
Oh yeah.
But then when I was a teenager, Andrew was Spider-Man, and when I was a teenager, so I also kind of related to him. So like Tom Holland, I never really was able to because I was an adult by then. But yeah, that was the whole reason I think a lot of people went and saw that movie, frankly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
David had an interesting question here. I wonder what recent movies are making the same impressions on this generation of kids.
For horror, oh sorry.
Well, for horror for sure. It would be Terrifier.
Yep.
And I think Scream has come around full circle again. Scream 5 really created a new generation of Scream fans.
The Conjuring universe, I think, is.
I was going to say
Five
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, actually, I would say to that. I've never played that video game or anything, but yeah, that's pretty popular for sure.
And I think the Blumhouse Halloween trilogy that really introduced a whole new generation of people to the Halloween movies.
Oh, buddy, Gen Z will get the pitchforks out if you talk bad about 2018. That's their Michael Myers.
There's a lot of people you can't talk bad about. You can talk bad about ends, but God forbid you talk bad about 2018 or Kills. God forbid. And it's kind of the same thing with the Terrifier movies too. That fan base isn't as toxic as the Scream and Halloween fan bases, but if you go digging, you can find it. They get pretty toxic. Yeah, they get pretty toxic. And they've had some toxic stuff that they've had some reasons to be toxic here lately with all this stuff about the actress, and apparently there's supposed to be a lot more stuff coming out about a lot more people that have had negative experiences.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
That are supposed to be coming out at some point. I don't know. So I think we may have only scratched the surface of what is going on there. But the new Halloween fandom, that new Scream fandom, extremely passionate about those movies, and they get very aggressive if you don't agree with them.
Yeah. Real fast, I have two things. So it's not a movie, but Stranger Things is huge right now, especially since the latest season. But I guess we'll talk more about it later. But on my channel, I posted a review for the Halloween Resurrection, and in the beginning, I said arguably the worst in the franchise, and some people got really passionate about Resurrection. They're like, "That's not the worst." It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Well, you know what? I bet you those people, their worst is Ends, because if you don't acknowledge Ends as the worst, the venom comes out.
You're not a real fan.
You're not a real fan. You're not a real fan.
Yeah.
I lost my Halloween fan card in October of 2022, and I've never gotten it back. So it sucks, man.
So yeah, and you know, we're going to segue into YouTube here momentarily, but you know, this is just just to dive in briefly because I want to get your all's takes on this. We all talk about movies. We all share our opinions about movies. And I've always said this. I have nothing but the utmost respect for anybody who points a camera at themselves, gives their opinion on something like a movie, and then posts it on the internet, because you're opening yourself up to a lot of good and a lot of bad.
Mhm.
But today, and maybe it's just me being old, I don't know, but like I posted a blind ranking of the Halloween movies, and a lot of people don't understand what random is. They don't understand what random means. But because I discovered that the hatred for Halloween 3 is back. I thought we were at least a good 15 years beyond people not liking Halloween 3 because Michael's not in it. We're back. That's back. And not having Halloween 2018 at the top of the list and not having Halloween Ends at the bottom of the list, man, people just came out of nowhere and they were pissed. Pissed. I got some great comment. I'll still go through those comments sometime when I want a good laugh, because it's wild. It's wild.
I believe that the proper word is pizzed. That's what the kids are saying.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So there's and again, we're talking about fan bases that are toxic. Scream is toxic. Halloween is toxic. So you're going to get that when you share your opinion. But I don't know. It just seems like today, and maybe it's just a microcosm of the times, but it's like if you don't like the same movies I like exactly for the same reasons I like, we're gonna fight in the comments section. And I'm gonna say you're not a true horror fan, and I'm gonna say you don't understand horror, and I'm gonna say, like, you know what I mean?
And they start picking at your weight, saying you smell. It's like, what?
I didn't get any of that, but I got a lot of, like, you're not a real horror. You don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween. You're not a real horror fan. I got a lot of that.
That was a funny video, by the way. That was
well, thank you. A lot of people didn't see the humor in it. That's for sure.
Oh my god!
But
it was so funny.
Yeah, so it's kind of like how boring would the world be if we all just liked the same stuff? But we can't a difference of opinion is seen as a personal affront, and I'll never understand that, but that's the mentality of a lot of people. I actually this was years ago, but there was a guy who physically threatened me, because I did not like a movie that Rambo Raff liked. And he saw that as an attack on Rambo Raff. And so he was going to defend Rambo Raff by physically hurting me.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks, Rambo. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I'll never understand you don't like what I like. You don't agree with what I believe in. Then
you're wrong.
You're wrong. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, well, first off, I mean, Nick, I know you have. I know you've been in that boat with your opinions on Halloween, and you've been around the block on YouTube long enough. You've upset people, I'm sure. But Frank, have you encountered a lot of that kind of behavior with your videos?
No, not really. To be honest with you, I think the only thing that I get is, so mostly in my channel, I talk about the horror genre, releases, stuff like that. But I do talk every twice, I think I do it like twice a year, and that's just talking about overall mental health. And I've had some mental health videos, and I really like doing them. I don't give a shit what people think. I've connected with people who have thanked me and stuff like that, and but I just think at least discussing it is very important, and so I've gotten some backlash of me being a poser horror fan when I discuss like a mental health like video or something that's like a personal video that I just wanted to share. And so I've gotten criticized for that, but no like hot takes or anything. So it was just mostly about that. So
You're just too nice, Frank. Nobody wants to get it except for Eli.
yeah.
Nobody wants to get, that way with you. They're just like, he's too nice. Let's go
save
to
it for
video.
Nick. Yeah.
Let's save it for Nick. What about you, Manny?
On one of my videos, I did the NECA horror blind box unboxing, and I did 2 of them, and I think one of them I was kind of like, because those boxes, they're a lot of people get the similar things. You get a Frankenstein and stuff, and you know me, when that camera turned on, I kind of turned it up, and I was like, oh, Frankenstein. I threw it behind my back, but I got a lot of people saying that was disgusting what you did. How dare you? You should appreciate the box that you got. A lot of people would kill for that box, and I'm just like, guys, like, calm down. Like, but yeah, like that, and then of course, when you say your opinion, the way we're talking about on something, and someone doesn't like it, it's like, well, here's why you're wrong. It's like, whoa. But yeah, and then I also have a video coming out this weekend, and it has to do with Little Debbie cakes. Oh. And I may have a hot take in there, and I know I'm going to get some.
Don't watch it, Piz.
Probably from Piz. Yes, I know. He's going to be in the comments, but yeah,
I'm nice enough to bring you and Frank on my channel, and you're both doing videos after this stream to attack me.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, I just know you're probably going to be like, what did he say? But yeah, you'll have to tune in this weekend.
Okay, all right, I'll be there with the thumbs down, ready to go. But let's go ahead and let's segue into YouTube, and I'm going to start with you, Nick, because you've been around for a little while. What inspired you? Let's go all the way. When did you first discover YouTube?
I think it was 2008 when I actually started like watching videos, and that was back in the time when smartphones weren't really a thing yet. You could get internet on your phone, but you would pay per gigabyte usage.
Right.
And I remember my mom's boyfriend at the time.
I still
he was living with us. Yeah. Well, yeah, you could still can. And I remember he was living with us, and I would because we only had one computer at the house, and it was my older brother's, so nobody was allowed on it. And so they would go to bed at night, and I'd go to Jake, her boyfriend at the time, and I'd say, hey, can I use your phone for the internet? He's like, sure, whatever. He thought I was doing Facebook, MySpace, whatever. Oh, no, buddy. I was watching people's Halloween collections on YouTube. So I remember after like a month, he was like, why the hell is the phone bill this much? And I was like, yeah, dude, that's crazy. But no, yeah, in 2008, that's when I really, really started doing that. And so 2009 was the first time I posted one. And it wasn't until 2021 that I actually started going like, you know what, maybe I should do this regularly. I mean, I would post a video like once a year, and it would be one of those things where, you take your phone or your camcorder. I was using a camcorder at the beginning. You just set it up. There's no editing. So the video starts in your hands like this, and you're like,
yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah. No cuts like that. And it would be like once a year I'd do that. And the thing that kind of made me want to do that was, this is ironic because it is perfect for what we talked about earlier. I didn't have a lot of people in my personal life I could talk about this stuff with. There was not a lot of people in my personal life that wanted to hear me, wax poetic about John Carpenter's Halloween or The Fog or something like that. So I had learned through watching people's collection videos and stuff. I was like, there's a community on here of people that would want to see this stuff and talk about it. And COVID was what was like, it made me take a step back and go, I don't know. maybe I should like try to do this. And so yeah, it's been a slow climb since, but I would say over the last 3 or 4 months is when I've really been making it a point to upload pretty much every day. But yeah,
Respect to you. That's hard. That takes some skill.
yeah, you don't sleep a lot, buddy. Trust me. But when you're going through what I dealt with this year between divorce and then child support and stuff, I was like, yeah, this could be used as legitimate secondary income, which could really help me out. So I was like, if I want it to be the case, I need to apply myself more. And so I decided to start applying myself more, and I don't know. That's kind of where it all started.
Okay, very cool. Frank, what inspired you to want to start your channel, and what was your launch day on YouTube? Do you remember the exact date?
Yeah, it was in the middle of last year. It was January of last year, and it was like January 15th or something like that. So I'm probably the newest person, I think, maybe. But yeah, been doing it for almost 2 years. And what inspired me, well, first of all, I wasn't ever on YouTube prior to the pandemic. And basically, once I got those stimulus checks, I just spent money on and having a better TV. Because I just had like a basic like Samsung 4K like TV, which was fine. But once you buy like a premium TV, like an OLED, like that shit just changes you, man. And so, I mean, Piz, you know my channel, like I'm just like full on into that. And so, yeah, I mean. So then I started watching, I watched you, I watched Ken. I watched a shit ton of Ken, Mid-Level Media, his channels, because again, like his channel was really directed towards like my interests at the time and just building my collection. I love looking at your collection, creators' collections, whether that's movies, whether that's mask. Just the type of passion and just like you spend your hard-earned money on things that make you happy. And for some people that's collecting, statues, masks. And for me, what I collect is the movies behind me. And I started out just very basic. And then I started to now just dive into one clicks. And now like my collection has grown with those one clicks, and I just love, I don't know, I just love collecting movies. I wanted to connect, as I said earlier, connect with other people discussing the horror genre and this passionate movie lovers, and because I don't really have them here, like at all, like really no one, and so this is my outlet. Like I find this very therapeutic, and I think that's the key for a lot of us. Is that in my situation where I'm at, like I don't really have anyone to talk about movies with, and I don't really have any friends who collect movies like me, and so I needed like an outlet to get on at this type of a format. And so like I was on Twitter and I had a good following on Twitter. Just a lot of friends just encouraged me to start a YouTube channel. And I debated whether to do that for like a couple years, because this is like a different type of format. Right? On Twitter and Instagram, it's easy. You just post a picture. But on here, like you get all of you. And so that's good or bad. And of course, being in this type of format, like you're just putting yourself out there and to be either accepted or ridiculed. And I love, in some ways, I really like it. Like YouTube is great. It's just not only basic videos, but then also this type of format, live streaming, because there's people who don't really watch videos, but like are engaged in those live streams. like Eli is here, and Eli has been a longtime supporter for me and a good friend. But he's always like, I always see him in everyone's live streams, at least the people that I follow. And so just a huge shout out to Eli. But it's those type of people who make me want to do more live streams or videos. I know it's a long answer, but that's just, again, for me as a creator and someone who's only been doing it for almost 2 years. So I'm pretty new to this. So.
And Frank, I'll just tell you, and I'm sure Piz will say the same thing. It should always be a hobby. Like that doesn't mean you can't use it to, for growth. Like you want to grow and you want new opportunities for yourself, of course, down the line. But like the moment it stops being a hobby, you need to reevaluate things, because like it should never be taken too seriously. If this really is an outlet that you have fun with and you have fun connecting with these people and stuff, don't ever lose that, because God knows we all need a hobby or two. I mean, if everything in life just becomes monotonous for us, then it's basically just a slow march to the grave, and nobody really wants that. So
yeah. And like for me, like I'm for people who, because I'm brand new for a lot of these people, I'm huge like into paddling, into outrigger and dragon boating. And so that's what I grew up on, like in high school and as an adult. And I was very competitive within that sport. And then once COVID happened, all of that shut down, all of it. And plus, it just happened to coincide of kind of being more engaged as a father, because when I was paddling, I was a president of a big club. Like I had over like 100 members of adult teams, a youth team, and that was my life, was paddling. And so all of it just kind of just happened, stepping away from paddling, COVID happening, not doing anything. And so this is a great social format, and I needed that. So
yeah. I mean, that's kind of back in the day when I started, it was a much smaller community, but it was just cool that there were other people who liked the same stuff I did, and then I could have a conversation with about these movies and about physical media and whatever that I couldn't have with a coworker or even, a friend. So it was just like this, oh wow, this cool community. And I mean, it's now it's enormous. Now it's a gigantic community.
Yeah, and guys, I got to give you a quick shout, Piz. I mean, Piz knows this. I've told him this. I have followed Piz since the days of the box fan. And, in the background, you could hear it. And Piz would be sitting in a chair and there'd be nothing behind him. He didn't have anything in the backdrop. It's just a white wall. And you were one of the ones I watched back in the day, too. I'll never forget finding your first review for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Because when that came out and I loved it, I was watching every review of it I could. And none of them were positive. And yours was. And I was like, I like this guy. So it's crazy. Like 15 years later, I've obviously had the honor to I've been on your channel, you've been on my channel, we've had you on Unita, we've met. Like that's just crazy. I wouldn't you told me that 15 years ago and I've been like, yeah, you're smoking crack. So it really is a community that's worth keeping for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's and I'm going to get into a whole section of pros and cons, but that's one of the biggest. I've made a lot of friends, and I've met a lot of awesome people and had a lot of great opportunities because of YouTube that I would have never met, opportunities I would have never gotten if not for, this platform. And, it all started in that tiny little room with the fan and nothing behind me. And a tiny little camera sitting on a stack of DVDs. I couldn't even tell if I was in frame or not.
You were, and it always started.
Luckily,
hey, people, Piz out here. I never forget all of the intros that all you guys had, like you, Justin, Ryan, 1988. Andrew Ballina, like just wow, way back.
Yeah.
Nate Dunning, way back in the day. Man, now I'm dating myself for sure. But
Yeah. Oh man, and you mentioned Ken, and anytime anybody mentions Ken, I'm sure his ears start ringing. And there's no bigger fan of Ken than Ken. And we know that Ken's not watching, or else Ken would be in the chat talking about Ken incessantly. So. But Ken, wherever you are, I'm sure we're not thinking of you. We know you're thinking of yourself. So, but yeah. Gosh, what a prima donna he is. My God. So Manny, what inspired you to start your channel?
So I started watching YouTube in like 2009, 2010. I don't even know if you guys know these people. They're pretty big. I don't know if they do it anymore, but like the Shaytards, they would do like daily vlogs. Justine, she would do like technology and stuff. So I would always watch, and then I had my channel. I didn't post my first video, I have the date right here, till February 10th, 2016. And it was a Star Wars review. So I've always liked reviewing things, I guess. So that's what my channel kind of morphed into, reviews and like daily vlogs. But I mean, it wasn't until last year that I said, you know what, I'm gonna start posting to YouTube more, because before that I would post a video once every 2 years. I think when the Trick or Treat Studios 1/6 scale figures came out, I would get one, I would post a review, and that's it. I would upload it and forget about it. And so that's the way it was for a few years. Like I would get something cool, I'm like, oh, let me record this. So I would, the way you did, get your phone or your camera on a stack of movies and record it. Hopefully you're in frame. It was terrible editing and stuff, but that's what I did. And then last year I was like, you know what, let me take this YouTube thing a little bit more seriously. So that's where, I've been around, but I'm also new, because it just takes some time, to build these relationships with people and stuff. So I'm fairly new to the community.
Right. Well, and Manny, you're just Manny. We had this conversation before the show. It's the mustache, man. That mustache just gives off. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
See, I didn't curl it today for that reason. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to curl it today.
Thank God. But I mean, even still, I mean, it's just too alpha.
Yeah,
it's too alpha.
I'm intimidated right now. I don't know how much longer I could do this. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, like I've literally seen Nick shaking a few times.
Yeah, and that's not because of my ADHD. It's not.
I'm gonna shave this part and just leave the mustache, and let's see how that looks.
That you'll get arrested immediately as soon as you walk out the door. Immediate arrest.
That is hilarious.
Police custody. So, but continue, Manny, please.
Yeah, no. So I mean, that's pretty much now what my video is. It's daily vlogs. My wife, my dog. We'll whip out the camera. We just upgraded to the DJI, so slowly but surely trying to up the production. I'm trying to work on lights and stuff. But yeah, just daily vlogs. I do reviews. I know my NECA videos kind of do well, so. Just whatever I find is cool. That's what I'll put on YouTube now. It's cool when you get that like reaction, of a lot of people appreciating it, but there's also a lot of videos that it's like, oh gosh, that was not a great one. But it's fun.
Yeah, but one thing, never go back and delete them. I've thought about that myself, going back and delete the ones from when I was like 16. I'm like, I can't. It's a time capsule.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just let them be. Let them be.
Yeah.
But I've seen some of the vlogs with the new camera. It looks really good.
Yeah, thank you. It's it's definitely. I'm still trying to learn it. There's, white balances that you gotta figure out and stuff. But if I may, can I ask you all a question? How long does it take you to, let's say, I don't know how long everyone's videos here. I guess it can range, but let's say a 7-minute video. For me, if I'm going to record a NECA unboxing, A 7-minute video will take me like 3 hours. Is it just me or is it everyone else?
To shoot and edit and whatnot, or just to edit?
Start to finish.
If it's a 7-minute video, I'm probably looking 7 to 8 minute video. I'm looking at hour and a half, depending on the usage of video and pictures.
Okay.
If I'm layering in video clips, it's longer. If it's just photos, it's much shorter. Also, these days, YouTube isn't as, up their own butt about the video clips so long as they're not too long. And if you don't have the sound on, I've also noticed if I put a 10-second video clip over my video as I'm talking about something, I don't ever get a copyright for it. It's usually just having the sound on or having it be too long. But if you're doing a video essay, which I can just tell you, I love doing the video essays because they explode. Like, they do really well. I don't know why they do so well on YouTube. I mean, it's like a guaranteed 20,000 plus views, but at least for when I've been doing them, but they take forever because the entire thing is video clips and pictures. And it's easier to fill the space when you are like right here. Oh, let me just put some in here every 30 seconds or whatever. But when it's an essay, buddy, that can be like 3, 4, 5 hours.
Yeah. And I'm the type of, I'm sorry, Piss. I'm the type of person that when I start something, I'm going to finish it I don't like to put it, I'll finish it another day. If I get this NECA video, this NECA figure, I film it, I do the voiceover, I try and do it as in real time. I'll export it, I'll cut it up, put the music, and I'm just like, like 3 hours later, like Jesus, but I don't know. But I'm sorry, Chris. What were you going to say?
At least you're taking your time. That's important. Yeah. Take your time. Don't rush it.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, it doesn't, not that I do any crazy editing, but like I've been doing it for so long, like it doesn't take me that long, the editing process. And usually, like I've, back in the day, I would just, I'd say, okay, well, I'm going to do a review of this movie. And I'd sit down and turn the camera on and not even really know what I was going to say. And there'd be long pauses or there'd be stuttering and stammering. Now I know what I want to say. So I just, and like, if there's long pauses, I cut them out. So, but yeah, sometimes I'll do some editing, special editing or whatever, but I've been doing it for so long. It just seems like an hour at the most, maybe. I can, regardless of how long the video is.
And Manny, I will tell you the best way to do it is the way you said it. Do it in one fell swoop. Don't record and then go, all right, I'll edit that in a couple days. No, just do it all, get it done, because there's no better feeling than having that locked, loaded, unlisted on your channel and just knowing tomorrow I can just hit make public. I don't have to do anything else. Like, it's the best feeling. So
yeah. Definitely.
And don't even get me started on thumbnails, because I'll have the video down. Okay, cool. And then I'm like, oh, thumbnail. Oh gosh.
Yeah, sometimes thumbnails, I'll get caught up on one of those and be like, that sucks. Let me try that over again. No, that one sucks too.
It's funny too, because Christian has said, he's like, recently I've just been taking a screen grab of my face from the video that I recorded and just like putting the poster of the movie I'm talking about right next to it, and they've been doing awesome. And I'm like, yeah, see, it's a crapshoot. You never know. Like, you could it could be a selfie and it might get like 30,000 views. You don't know. You just don't know.
But speaking of selfie, if it'll even focus, this is the thumbnail for my little Debbie video.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So thank you.
Beautiful. Well, let me ask you guys, and Nick is a father, Frank's a father, Boogie. Why do I keep calling you Boogie? Manny.
Please. I have a dog.
Manny has a dog. He has that facial hair he has to take care of. That takes a lot of his time. How do you guys manage, and social media, all the social media platforms, they're hungry. They're hungry animals. They want you to feed them and feed them often. So how do you balance your work life, your personal life, and your YouTube life so that you have, you're not neglecting one for the other? Frank, you've got 12 kids and they're all under 5 years old. Tell us, how do you do it?
It's well, you Piz, you know me. I'm pretty blunt. It's really fucking difficult, man. I try to have set a schedule and having it with a calendar with my wife and I, but oftentimes, unfortunately, like that doesn't really happen, and it's just like we just have a very busy family lifestyle, and so and plus of my job, like what I do, and so it's just really hard to find like that balance, and that's you know I'm pretty new to this, and so I'm just trying to find a way, and I think the big key is communication with your partner, and
Mhm.
that can be hard, but at least having that dialogue is very important, and and yeah, I mean it's really tough, man, for sure.
How does
Because I
your
know, like for me, like I sometimes like I'm sneaking down here to make some damn fucking video, and or like maybe I'm waking up a little bit earlier, or I'm staying up a little bit later.
Mhm, mhm.
And Nick, you mentioned like how exhausting you are sometimes, and like that's just the way it is with, and that's part of the thing too. We're doing that type of shit because we're so passionate of this hobby, and so that that's what I find myself doing.
You just want the fame, Frank. That's all you're after.
I'm
You
trying to
just
get
want the
there.
fame.
I'm trying to be sponsored by Little Debbie.
Oh
Hey,
God, I wish. God, I wish.
shoot for the moon.
How
Yeah.
how what does your partner think of the YouTube stuff? Is she accepting of it? Is she kind of like, you're spending too much time there and not with me and the kids? Is she cool with it? Let us behind the curtain. A
I
little
think
bit.
she is. I think that she is
He starts
very
to whisper.
happy. Yeah.
She loves it. She loves it. She loves
No,
it. She's
man,
very
she sees my videos. I mean, for me, I would say that she is very happy that I have found an outlet outside of paddling to that makes me happy, because this
Mm,
doing this makes me happy.
mm.
But the other side is we've had many conversations, including the other day, of how much time consuming this is, because it's not just only making a stupid fucking video and making a dumb thumbnail. It's about afterwards. It's about replying to comments. It's about, if you're on social media, like I've been doing pretty good with Instagram. Like I love posting, pics of what movies and collection, all that other stupid stuff. And but like that seems to be doing pretty well for me. And so I'm replying to those, reaching out to people who have responded to me, who, reach out to me. And so all of that stuff like takes away time. And so I know lately we've been um, doing like family time. So I put my phone away, I put my watch away, because that's all connected with Apple and all that shit. So so that's really important to me. Sundays is usually like my family day. So I've kind of like been more firm with that, to have that type of involvement, right, with my wife and family and stuff like that. But no, man, it can be fucking difficult. It
Okay.
definitely can be, man. And
Okay.
and if you're saying that it isn't, you're fucking lying. That's for sure. Like it's
Well,
hard.
appreciate the candor. Appreciate the candor. What about you, Manny? How do you balance? How do you balance everything?
It helps to have a wife that is an enabler. Like she made us upgrade the camera. Not made us, but she really was like, yeah, let's get a new camera. She's in some of the videos, so it's kind of like a joint thing. And then when I do like a toy review or something, I mean, we kind of already know the drill. Like, hey, I'm gonna go in there, I'll be gone for 3 hours. But besides that, like if the way Frank said, you put your phone away. I'll still have my phone. I'll look at it. I'm not crazy like doom scrolling, but like if we're watching something, I'm not gonna pull my phone out and be rude. I just don't like that. So I tend to spend time with the wife and the dog. And but yeah, I think my wife's awesome, so that definitely helps, because if she wasn't behind it, it would, I don't know, I think it would be a different story. But yeah, but like I work also. I have a regular 9 to 5, and with that work, they're not very strict. Like they're not too strict on like phones and stuff, so I'm able to post some stuff like on my break or something. But like Instagram, it's just so slow for me because I'm just kind of finding my groove. So like I'll post something, and I mean a handful of people like it, and I don't care. It's just I'm posting because it's something that I like.
Yeah.
But I think it's a pretty healthy balance that I have. Like, it's not something that's like a schedule, but I kind of, just kind of going with the groove and kind of, sometimes I don't do anything like YouTube or anything. Like I'm not recording every day. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, and it helps that she's a part of a lot of the videos. I've seen her in a number of your videos.
Yeah.
So it helps that she's sort of, she's a
Oh, yeah.
partner in crime.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Mrs. Manny.
Yes.
And
Mrs.
shout
Boogie.
out Mrs. Buggy. There you go. And shout out to Mrs. Frank for tolerating him and his shenanigans.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Nick? I mean, Nick, I know you're a father. You've got a lot of responsibilities. You're trying to upload every day. You said it before, there's a lot of late nights. There's a lot of, being tired the next day. Is that kind of how you balance it? You just fit it. You make it fit.
Yeah. It's like a square peg into a round hole sometimes. But it works somehow. I mean, you shave the ends of the square down and you can turn it into a circle. I'm the boss at my job. So like if I have to edit, if I have something that I didn't finish editing and I have downtime at work, I'll, take a couple minutes and edit some stuff in the office. But most of the time it's, go to work, come home and eat some food. And then I'm immediately in my room. After that, recording something. And then sometimes I'll wait till later in the night to edit it. And then, usually that's what I do, because I'm like, okay, I recorded this. I want to watch a movie, or I want to, do something else. And then around 10 o'clock or so, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start editing. And sometimes that can be done at midnight. Sometimes that can be done at 2. It really just depends. And then, I have that locked and loaded on Patreon and unlisted on my channel. And then I go to bed and I upload it in the afternoon the next day, and just kind of rinse and repeat. If I find myself with a day off work where I don't have my son, like last Saturday, I took a PTO day ahead of time a couple weeks ago. I recorded a couple things that day and then edited them throughout the day and had like multiple in the chamber, so I could give myself the next 2 days off from recording because I had my son the next 2 days. When I have my son, it's 2 nights, 3 days a week, and his mom has him the rest of the time. So when I have him, if I record something, it's after he goes to bed, and then I edit it right after I record it too, because I don't like to be on my phone. When I have my son, I like to spend as much time as I can with him one-on-one. I've never been like, hey buddy, I need to go record something, so I'll be back in 15 minutes. I don't do that. So I wait till he's in bed. But yeah, I mean, I will say though that the proof is in the pudding. Like it definitely is. In dedicating more time to it, I've seen growth on my channel this year that honestly has been more than I've ever seen. And Christian and I talked about it, and he told me the same thing because he uploads every day. And he was like, when I started doing that, I really started to see my channel take off. And so, yeah, it sucks sometimes. Like last night, I was like, I want to play some Dead by Daylight. It was like 11 o'clock, and that didn't happen. I fell asleep with my phone in my hand on the couch before 11:30 or so. And then, yeah. So it'll catch up to me sometimes, but usually when it does, it's my brain like knows. Like I had the video already uploaded and ready to go last night. So I think my brain was like, you can pass out. You don't have anything to do tonight. I'm like, yeah, but I want to stay up and play Dead by Daylight. My brain was like, no, you don't. So And then I woke up at like 5 a.m. and I was still on my couch, and I was like, I'm just going to grab this throw blanket and go right back to sleep. I'm not even going in my room. Like, I'm not doing this. So yeah, I hope to get to a point sooner rather than later where I'm smarter about recording multiple things on my days off, so I have less to do throughout the week. But work-life balance is important, and that's what I would tell anybody that's just getting into this and wanting to see real growth and stuff. Don't let it get to the point where you're miserable, because I'm miserable at my day job. Like I would love to do this full time. That's not in the cards right now, but you keep applying yourself, and who's to say it won't be eventually? So,
yeah.
Yo, Nick, do you record when you record? You said you recorded multiple videos. Did you change your shirt, or do you have the same shirt in all those videos?
It's funny you ask. Sometimes I do, depending on what I'm talking about, and sometimes, like I did last night, give you a little inside baseball here. To start the next clip, I took the hat off and I was making a face. So when I went into the edit, I saw that screen grab and I said, okay, that's the start of the next edit. So I knew this block right here is one edit.
Yeah.
This block right here is the next edit. But yes, I always do some kind of marker so I can see.
Okay.
You always got to change shirts between videos. Even if you do back-to-back videos, you got to change shirts,
Yes. Sometimes I do,
probably,
sometimes I don't, man.
You got to change the underwear too. You never know.
I don't care about that.
You just go commando.
You don't see me from the waist down.
I was going to say, for all you know, we're not wearing underwear.
Please do not stand up.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think you have to be careful with that balance, because I think once YouTube starts to feel like a job, then it's like, I have more work to do. Then you start to procrastinate it the same way you procrastinate your job. So
the only thing I can say from my experience, though, and Piz, I wonder if you can speak to this too. I know you have a day job as well. I find what I do on YouTube infinitely more rewarding than my day job. Just the people I meet, the connections I've been able to make, I don't know, just the comments you get on a daily basis. They're really uplifting. Like I don't get attaboys at my job, and I do a good job. I've been there 7 years. I run a very profitable location for them, and I make sure to remind them of that all the time. But I don't get attaboys. I don't get pats on the back, which is fine. YouTube, though, I get a lot of that, and that's really cool. It's nice to know that some people are like, hey, we appreciate you. It's like, oh, well, somebody does, Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there's been times where I've felt like, I've got so much to do with this and that and the other. I've got to put but I want to do this YouTube thing, but like I need to put it off, or like, it'll start to feel like kind of like work. And that's when I kind of, I'll take a step back and maybe even take a day or two and just kind of decompress entirely. Or do like a short or something.
A ranking.
Sure.
A blind ranking of the Halloween franchise. Yeah.
And just really piss everybody off.
It's not blind. He knows where he's putting all those.
That was calculated.
Exactly. Yeah. Very calculated. Yeah. So yeah, I think the balance is very important, because you can burn out. Like once the hobby becomes a job and you start looking at it like a job. And I think a lot of people who get into YouTube these days, they want it to be the job, and they approach it from the entirely wrong perspective. And if it's just a job, even if it's something you like, pretty soon it's gonna I gotta go to work.
Well, I got a question for you guys. So my channel isn't as big as your guys's, and so Nick, you said that you've noticed a big jump on your channel. Piz, you have a good size channel, subscribers and everything, and Manny, you do too. But it's like, do you feel like whenever like there's a video that hits, that like you have to do that same type of video, like you feel obligated that you have to do it in order to maintain that growth? Because I know
I think
Go
that's a
ahead.
trap. I think that's a trap
It is.
Yeah.
because you know, you have to be very careful with how you when it comes to analytics and the numbers and stuff, because they can definitely play tricks on your mind. You know, you'll have that month where all the numbers are up and you're like, man, I'm blowing up, I'm doing something good, you know, I'm gonna have a steak tonight. And then the next month it's like, where did everybody go? What did I do? What
Ramen noodles.
algorithm? What did it tell me? What did I do? I'm sorry. And it's just a video that performs well. The next video you do, it's the exact same kind of video, may not perform well. Then where are you going? Well, now, I guess I'm just a one-hit wonder. I guess I'll just throw in the towel. And I've had, I've been on here for so long. I've done so many different kinds of videos that, there's people who subscribe to me for the mask videos. There's people who subscribe to me for the physical media videos. There's people who subscribe for the Jeremy videos. So, and if it's not a Jeremy video, they don't watch it. If it's not a physical media video, they don't watch it. If it's not a mask video, they don't watch it. So it's just trying to do a little bit of everything.
Everyone.
You can't please everybody, and you can't, I don't think you can get stuck in just, you can have a niche, but you can't just stay in that niche, because you're going to,
And in my experience, Frank,
evolve.
What I would tell you is, because I saw this firsthand a couple months ago, there is a line you can walk there. When you find a style of video or a topic or a range of topics, like very specific, that is doing well, the trick I found was, don't do the exact same thing. If you're able to, try to do variations of that, similar variations of that thing. And also it helps if you can turn it into like a series. There was a series I did called What Went Right and What Went Wrong, and I was doing it for movies and timelines and stuff. And that I didn't burn myself out on that, because I was talking about different movies every day and every video and different timelines and different. So that was fun. And I listen to my audience, when they're watching these things and people are commenting, do more of these. I'm like, okay, I'll do more of them. I just started a new series. It wasn't even meant to be a series. I just did like a Halloween hot takes, because somebody had said like a week ago, I want to hear some of your Halloween hot takes. I said, okay, whatever. And I looked at the comments, do another one. Okay, so I did another one. Then people are like, do this with other franchises. Well, I was already ahead of them at that point. I knew they were going to start saying that. So I did a Nightmare one today. I recorded a Friday one that comes out tomorrow. So the trick for me was, if something's working, try different variations of it, and see how far that'll take you, but don't do it to the point where you're burnt out. You always have to be reinventing yourself on YouTube. And furthermore, it's nice to actually have different pockets on your channel, because like Piz said, you're going to have people that view you for your Halloween stuff. They're going to view you for your rankings. They're going to view you for your movie reviews. Having those pockets is a good thing. And you never want to be just known for literally one thing, because then the algorithm will strap you down to that one thing, and it will never put you out there if you do anything else. If you are just known as this, you're never going anywhere.
Yeah. I heard a really, and I wish I remember who I heard this from, but this was so many years ago, and it's really words to live by on YouTube, I think. He said, subscribers count, subscriber count doesn't. So you could have 1 million subscribers, but if only 20 people are watching those videos, it doesn't matter. If you have, the people who are coming to who will watch your stuff, they're watching it. Ultimately, people are watching your channel for you. They find a connection to you. Yeah. And that's what they come back for. So those are the people who are truly your audience. You'll have the people that kind of come and go, or the people who go, well, oh, he's doing this kind of video, I'm not really interested. But subscriber count does. And again, it's all the analytics, it's the numbers that can really screw with your head if you let them. And it does for a lot of people. And
also what screws us mentally is also that YouTube studio, right? Because there's all that info for what you did, and that can be just like a mind game as well. So yeah,
for sure.
Once I get that 100,000 subscriber plaque, I'm retiring, deleting the channel. I'm out of here.
You're going out on top. Well, I think we've already kind of talked about some of the pros and cons of YouTube, and the analytics being, getting the analytics in your head too much can definitely be a con. The pros, of course, is when you make those connections with people who, really enjoy your stuff, and you get those great comments, or you get those great messages from people who said that, like, your videos helped me through a difficult time, or like we've mentioned the pandemic numerous times during this. I was live streaming all the time during the pandemic, because I had literally, once Jeremy went to bed, like, I'm just, there's not much else left to do. I've watched all my movies. You know what I mean? It's like, so especially during that time, I got so many messages from people saying, God, thank you for live streaming so much. It just, not that I was doing anything, cutting edge. It was something that people could tune in and interact. Yeah. And I've had some really, really great messages from people, really uplifting messages from people over the years about, like, your videos got me through a difficult time, or the death of a loved one, or a breakup, or I've had people say, like, your video saved my life. Like, how do you process that? So though, and again, the friendships that you make, the people that you meet on here, that you can, that become friends, that you do meet in real life, or some of the opportunities that the platform can give you, those are definitely, I've had so many more pros than cons from the platform, which is great. But let me ask you guys, how do you, from your perspective, how can YouTube improve? And I'll go ahead and start. The only thing that really frustrates me about YouTube these days is they took literally the simplest functionality on the platform, one click, and they turned it into a 3.
Oh, with the hype and like all that.
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
You can't just subscribe to a person's channel anymore. You have to hit, you have to subscribe. You have to ring the bell. You have to turn on notifications. They took a one-step process, a one click, and turned it into a 3 for no reason. Like back in the day, if I let's say I'm subscribed to Frank's channel. Now, I would never subscribe to Frank's channel, but
he's like, fair.
But like,
it's
back
that
in the
Bucky
day,
comment, son of a bitch.
He's coming back around to bite you. But if I see Frank's channel, I go, oh, he's cool, I like his content, subscribe. Now every video he uploads is in my subscription feed. Now, if I don't also ring the bell and turn on notifications, not all of them will show up there, maybe. And what I've noticed too is, like, let's say I'm scrolling and there's a Frank video, and I go, I'm not feeling Frank today. He's really been jerky lately. He said some crap about Bucky I'm not happy about. I'm just going to scroll past it. A couple of days later, here's another Frank video. I'm still a little sore at Frank over that Bucky comment, so I scroll past it. The next time he uploads, guess what? It's not in my feed anymore, even though I'm subscribed. So I don't. The simplest. It was the simplest thing. One click. Now it's click, 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 and it's not just going to be in my feed. They want to email me. They want to send. They want to push a notification through. It's like, to me, that's totally frustrating. And YouTube used to, back in the day, they would make the simple stuff more difficult. They would literally say, "This isn't broken. Let's break it." They've slowed down on that over the past few years, but I still don't get. Why can't you just subscribe? Why do we have to make it this multi-step process? You know, it just doesn't make sense.
To piggyback off of that, I think they kind of similarly, the only thing that I can really think of that they could improve is, or two things, I guess. One, not necessarily the subscription feed, just like my suggested videos in general. Like sometimes I'll get suggested videos that I'm like, why on earth would I want to watch somebody cry about The Last Jedi for an hour? Like that
was my video.
I'm like, yeah, I've watched Star Wars stuff before, but like if the algorithm was actually smart, they would know that I'm not into the rage baiting channels. I don't think I've ever watched like a rage bait channel. It's just I actually hate them. And then two, I would say is just, I guess for creators, a little more like sense in what exactly the algorithm can and cannot do for you, in the sense of like, when you don't understand, I know you've got to have had times where you put a ton of work into something and it just tanks. And, and you're like, what did I do wrong here? And there's no answers. You know, there's no way to break it down and go like, oh, well, people, you know, the thumbnail, people were passing on the thumbnail or whatever it was. It's just like, yeah, you put all that work into it, just kind of flopped. And YouTube's algorithm is just shady sometimes. And I don't like that.
And it almost seems like they don't understand the algorithm either. Like the algorithm just does its own thing. And like anything, like if you say a bad word within the first 10 seconds of the video, it gets pushed down. If the thumbnail is is that blood in the corner, push it down. So the algorithm, and like I said a little while ago, you can have that month or two where like the algorithm is shining on you and you're getting everything is up, and then like all of a sudden the algorithm it's a fickle mistress. It just turns its back on you and everything just is in the toilet, and you're like, what happened? What did I do wrong? And I don't know, is it the subscription model? Is it that too many people scrolled past your video without? I'm sure we've probably all had somebody in the comments go, wow, I've not gotten a video from you and pop up in my feed in forever. I had to search you and find you.
Yep.
Yeah. So the algorithm is really, and I get like, I'll get recommended the weirdest videos and like videos that are 15 years old. Like, how is that popping up how is the algorithm? And like, it's like some crazy video. It's got 100 views. Why is that in my recommended feed? You know what I mean?
Picture of me, the thumbnail. I'm like this.
No, it's like one of my old videos with the box fan behind me, like some guy from 15 years ago talking about freaking cabin fever. You know what I mean? It's like, why is that in my feed? I don't understand. And why is that there, and why is Frank's new video not there? Oh, that's right, I unsubscribed from him. I blocked him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happened.
Well, YouTube has that thing now where you can like test different thumbnails. It's pretty cool. Like the way you said, if you're kind of scrolling and you're like, I don't like that video, and then next time you see like it's like the same video, just a different thumbnail. It's like, what the heck? That's cool. That's kind of cool how it kind of like, oh, do you like this one?
Yeah. I think I don't know. To me, that's kind of trickery, though. It's like,
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I've never tried it.
Yeah, I've not tried it either, but I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people do that.
I did it on one video. It didn't do anything. I one video I had a mustache. One thumbnail I had a mustache. The other one I didn't.
Okay.
And then I was bald the next one. So they all tanked.
Maybe it's not the mustache that people are uncomfortable about.
You need to put the dog in more thumbnails. You'll get infinitely more clicks with the dog.
Wait, are you talking about my foot or my actual dog?
Oh, you're
The-
actually
the-
both.
Oh,
There's a
both
lot
of
of
them.
feet
Like
people
that,
out there.
just
Yeah.
next to each other.
There,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, the algorithm's just a weird. It's another thing that can totally play tricks with your mind, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, Frank, I would just say don't, because I've experienced the highs and the lows, and Piz has too, and I'm sure Manny has as well. And as someone that's not too long ago started, you can't get too high or too low. You really
Right.
can't, because it can change literally overnight. Like you can upload something and all of a sudden it just hits, and you're like, what the hell? And then you could upload something the next week and it doesn't do anything. I mean, you just can't. Your words are best there. The algorithm is a fickle mistress, and you just don't know. So it's important to find some kind of niche, but don't let that just become everything you do. Branch out every now and then. Christian rebranded his channel like 2 years ago, and now he talks about action movies and stuff like that. And he'll even tell you himself, like, sometimes those ones don't do as well, but they're more fun for me to do. And I rebranded so people didn't think I was just doing one thing. So yeah.
Sometimes you have to make it fun for yourself and just hope that people will come along. And maybe people will jibe with it, maybe they won't, or maybe it'll be the second or third video that they do jibe with. I mean, ultimately it's your channel. Do what makes you happy with it. You know what I mean? Do upload the content. I guess ultimately you're uploading the content that you would want to see, right?
Yep.
And you just hope that there's like-minded people out there who'll hop on the ride with you,
Yeah, if you think it's cool, post it. And if it tanks, oh well. Just keep on doing it, because you never know.
Yeah. And people can see through people can see inauthenticity too. I mean, they really can. You're talking about something you don't know anything about, and you're clearly not passionate about, and you're just doing it because it's what's popular. They'll be able to see through that shit. So also talk about what you like. It's your channel, and some of my favorite comments I've gotten over the years is like, oh, why'd you do this video? And sometimes I'll literally reply and be like, crazy that I would do this on my channel, right? I don't know. Like, if you guys want to have a channel, go for it and talk about what you want. Like,
well, let's talk about advice. Let's give some advice. There's always, Nick, I'm sure you've probably gotten these messages. People are like, hey, you've inspired me to want to do my own channel. What kind of pointers can you give me? What kind of advice can you give me? And my advice has always been the same over the years. Like, because most people, and I've seen this happen so many times, they drop some money on a good quality microphone, they get a pretty good camera, they get some lighting, they buy Vegas Pro or Premiere Pro or whatever, they put all this time in their first video, make sure the lighting is right. You're
describing my channel.
they're enunciating clearly. Their audio is perfect. They've even spent some time to learn this editing software. They've got some crazy editing going. They've invested time and money, and they put up this first video expecting it to get 100,000 subscribers in a couple of days, and then they're just going to be the next whoever the big guy is now. And that doesn't happen. And they go, well, that was a waste of time and money. I'm out. And, especially today, you got to have reasonable expectations of, if you're starting from scratch and like you're not buddies with somebody who's got a following, who's going to shout you out, you're going to be, forget the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't know you exist. The algorithm does know you exist, but it doesn't trust you yet. So you're going to have very low views. Your first probably a lot of videos are going to be really low. And a lot of people can't handle that. They're not in it for the long haul. You can have, you need to have good quality equipment, especially today, because everybody's got good quality equipment. So your video needs to look good. It needs to sound good. But ultimately, people are going to ride or die with you. But it's going to take time for those people to find you. But you put in the time and they will. So, I mean, that's patience is really the number one thing that I always tell people. Patience.
Yeah. Don't get discouraged.
If you're on YouTube for overnight success, you're on the wrong platform. That ain't what YouTube is. And it's funny because one of my employees was literally actually asking me about it today. He's like, "Oh, I was thinking about doing a YouTube channel because you've been talking about yours," and he wanted advice. And similar kind of to what you said, Piz, anytime anybody asks me, it's just you have to be willing to put time into it. Trying to go about this the easy way, people are going to see right through that. And you shouldn't do that. If you have a passion for it, it should come through. But furthermore, be yourself. Because Piz was making jokes near the beginning of the stream about like how I can rile people up sometimes and they'll send hate my way and stuff. Yeah. And the thing is, that's not a shtick either. That's just because I'm a very opinionated person and I will stand 10 toes down on some opinions. And I'm respectful to people that disagree with me. I'm never going to tell you I'm right. But you're going to find people on the internet that really don't like it when somebody is very, very strong-willed with an opinion that you completely disagree with. But that's who I am. And so clearly, that resonates with some people. They don't want fake, fake. I don't know. So don't go for this. Don't do the overnight thing. Don't think that's going to happen. Be willing to put in the time and the effort and network with people, make actual friends, talk to them, engage with your audience.
Networking is very important, I think, for smaller channels, for channels that are just starting, to get with, to become friendly with other people who are in that same range and, collab and share people, and networking
really
is
quick.
very important. And Frank, I was getting ready to come to you because you're newer on the block, but you've gathered a nice group of people who, every time I'm on your channel, like I'll look at the chat and I'll see a lot of the same names, and some of them are people I recognize from my stuff. So you've managed to build an audience, which you should be very proud of. And that audience is there for you because you fooled them. But that mask is slipping, Frank. That mask is slipping. No, but they're there for you because you're a genuine person. You're not putting on airs. You're not pretending to be somebody you're not. So you should be proud of that audience that you've built so far. And it'll only grow.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. No, I mean, what you just said. At least for me, as a newer person, networking has been fantastic. One is because just connecting with creators who I've watched for a very long time, and just becoming friends with them has been awesome. Getting their suggestions. Not to toot his own fucking horn, but like Ken, I loved watching his roundtables. And so that's what inspired me to have just groups of guests. And I love learning from individuals. I love getting great suggestions, trying to just become a better creator, getting ideas, and just shooting the shit. Piz and I, we kid around, all the time and stuff, but that's just becoming good friends with people, and that's what's something that is very genuine.
I'm not kidding. I genuinely don't like you, Frank. Genuinely don't like you.
I know.
That's why I brought you on here to expose who you really are, the fake that you really are. And I've accomplished that. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's just good, and that's something that, like I just said, it's one of the things that I was hoping to do. Like I know for me, um, I got tired of making basic videos, and I wanted to interview the creators that really inspired me to start a channel. And my first interview was Cody Leach, and I couldn't believe he actually said yes, because at the time I only had like a couple hundred subscribers, and I was, I consider myself like a nobody at that time, but he took the time to reply to my message and to be on, and he's been awesome. He's been on my channel a couple times, and so yeah, just making just other friends. And I don't know, I think it's just been really, it's a good self-esteem thing for me as well too. It's just, I don't know, I think it's just that bond that we all kind of have. We have all been through the ups and downs, and we're all kind of just there helping each other. And I think for me also, the community that we're in, the horror genre, and the physical, for me again, the physical media people, like we all are like in a niche group, and we're all there to support each other, at least what I've experienced. And so it's been great.
Yeah, and I gave Cody props for this when I had him on my channel. He doesn't he doesn't care if you have a big channel or a small channel. He'll come on your channel. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who, I mean, most people of his channel size, if you're not at the same channel size or more, you wouldn't have gotten a response. Mm-hmm. So he, my hat is off to him for doing that, and he's done that with a lot of people's channels. So that's you don't see that very often.
No.
Manny, you're still, not new, but newer. Do you have any advice for people starting out?
Just kind of what you guys said. Don't give up. Consistency, even if it's, you don't have to upload a video every week. I mean, it'd be cool if you did, but just don't give up. When you don't see the results right away, just like, it's like losing weight, just keep on going. Also, don't gatekeep. Like if someone asks you for advice, don't be that person that's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you. It's like, why not? I know Piz and I had a conversation about like some mask people. When I was doing my Jason video, I reached out to a couple people, and I didn't get a response. I just saw that they read it. And it's like, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to do my thing over here. But I get it, but I don't know. Don't be like that. And also, you don't have to spend all this money on equipment. Yes, you do want a nice picture, but most of that comes up from your phone. So if you have a phone, shoot your stuff. And then I think the next thing that you would want to upgrade is maybe some mics. But I mean, most of the phone, I shoot a lot of my videos on my phone, most of my videos, and they're, you can get 4K, you can get some really cool picture. Of course, sound is the next thing that you'd want to upgrade. But I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can kind of just do everything with what's in your pocket. That's what I would say.
Oh man, I could tell you all the mask community. That's a pretty toxic community too. My God.
Oh, what, really?
Yeah, big time. Like, you will never get like somebody asking, like whoever Manny asked about pointers or tips or whatever, they looked at that message and they were insulted that he even asked. They probably blocked him too.
Probably.
The fact that you would even ask them for a tip, that you would try and steal their secrets.
It was Piz. He blocked me.
Yeah, that was it. Like a lot in the Jason mask community. And listen, everybody in that community, they use 3 colors: gray, burnt umber, and black. But if you ask them anything specific, they will literally treat it like you're trying to steal their secrets. Money. Yeah.
Well, anybody, it's always pissed me off. And if you're going to big league anybody, that's just, I've always found that shitty, because we were all starting at one point. We were all looking up to certain channels at one point. you put the work in and you grow, and that's awesome. But like, once you start to get to a point where you are viewing yourself as better than others when you were literally where they were, I don't really have respect for that. Like, I really don't. It's just something, and you guys already talked about it. There's this misconception online for some reason by some people that Cody Leach is an asshole. No, he's not. Cody's genuinely one of the nicest dudes I've met on here. Mm-hmm. He ruffles feathers, I think, because he's also very opinionated. And he's very colorful with his opinions. But Cody's a really good dude. And so, and he doesn't big league people. It's just, I mean, big leaguing's weird anyway. We're content creators, bro. I'm not like... Yeah, I'm walking the red carpet at the next Marvel movie. No, dude, I upload horror videos on YouTube. Like, the fact that any of us feel like we are better or someone is lesser than us is just really weird, but whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big time. The Myers mask community is also extremely toxic.
Getting that thing done was, I had to dig through YouTube and old forums, because no one would answer me.
No, you're not getting anything out of the mask people, man. They're just the only person in the mask community that, well, the only big person that ever kind of gave me tips was Crash Cunningham. Now there was a line where if I asked anything too specific, it got ignored. But he would critique my work and say, you need to do this a little differently. You need to do this a light that's too dark, keep it light, blah blah blah. But like anything specific, you're not getting a response.
Hit the rocks, kid.
But he was nice enough to kind of critique, and a lot of people won't even do that. I mean, it's a very weird community, and like the worst possible sin in the hockey mask community is to be accused of recasting. You will be exiled from that community, and if you are in any way associated with someone who's been a recaster, you'll be exiled from that community. So there was a guy, he also did masks in Kentucky. He asked me, he goes, so who are you getting your blanks from? And like, this was very secretive, and I told him, the guy, and he goes, oh God, never tell anybody that you're buying blanks from him. He's an alleged recaster. And if you tell anybody, like, you'll be kicked out of these communities. And whenever I would post a mask that I painted into one of these groups, like for sale, within seconds, either a moderator or somebody in that group, the very first question, where'd you get the blank? Within seconds. And if I answered that question wrong, post deleted, booted, blocked. So like I learned very early on.
Oh, wow.
Big time. And it wasn't, and you just needed to be accused. If you were accused,
it's like Salem, like the witch trial.
Exactly. It's a crazy community, man. Crazy
Holy
community.
Cow.
Tons of infighting, tons of just, it's wild. It really is a wild community.
Jeez.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, Tony asked a good question. Are you still making masks?
No, I've not done masks in a long time. I had my main supplier of blanks, who was legit. He was one of the few legit guys.
I don't know.
Well, he was. If I said I bought a blank from him in the community, people went, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, look at him trying to save face now. Look at him.
But he stopped making them, so I went to another guy, and it took forever to get stuff from him. The guy I used to buy straps from, I bought really good quality straps from him. He got out of the thing, and I got with another supplier who ripped me off. It just became a headache to try and get supplies. And I was like,
Yeah.
I just stopped doing it.
Now, I always found that stuff interesting. Like, again, I collect movies, and that's a whole different thing. But I've always found like that type of stuff like very fascinating, and you're spending all that time and money, and it's like jeez, man. I know that
money.
stuff can get I was about to say that can get very, very expensive. So
Well, and there's gatekeeping in the physical media community too. You know, there's people that are like, there's
for sure.
the great raging debate of slip cover or no slip cover. The people that will point out that's a reissue, that's not an original edition, you know, stuff like that. It's just like, Jesus, who cares? Like,
Well, everybody knows we're talking about Ken. Let's just name him. Let's just name him.
No, I did a video on the MCA Universal Halloween 2 VHS months ago, because that's one of the more rare editions of any of the Halloween VHSs you can get. And somebody commented and was like, that's the 1991 reissue. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not the original 87 or whatever it was. And I was like, I didn't claim it was. Damn.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it is. Well, gentlemen, I think we've had a very lively and fun discussion. And I really want to thank you guys for taking the time out to shoot the bull with me here. We've been going for almost over 2.5 hours at this point. But I think we've learned a lot about each other. I think we've given out some good tips. We've shared some stories. And it's been a really fun time. So if anybody in the chat has any specific questions for anybody, go ahead and throw those out there now. Manny, anything in closing you wanna say? A closing statement?
Just want to say thank you for having me on the channel all day today. I was super nervous, sweating, just super nervous, but I'm glad that we did it because I had a blast, and I hope that this is not the last time. Hopefully I can, hopefully you don't ban me, and we can do this again.
I'm already banned.
Well, he's already banned, yeah.
I'm gonna have to put a lot of thought into it.
Okay.
Manny.
I'll send you some little Debbie cakes when it's storming.
Well, that would buy me for sure.
Yeah, no, but really, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Okay. Awesome. Frank, this was your first and last appearance on my channel. Any closing and I
got kicked out too. So I mean, all the check marks are bam, bam, bam. So I appreciate that.
Any closing statements?
No, man. This has been fun. Thank you. It's been fantastic, and meeting Manny and Nick as well. So this has been, like I said, fun. So thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right on, man. Nick, we're old pals. We've known each other for years. We've had the opportunity to hang out. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah, so Piz gives off the impression sometimes that he's like this really stoic, like Gandalf-esque character. But let me tell you something, guys. In person, he genuinely is the life of the party. I actually was really nervous when we were about to meet him. And Christian was like, nah, dude, you don't get it. He's a big kid. And he really, really is. But, so there's two sides to Piz, guys. So that's a little inside baseball. But all that is to say that Piz is genuinely one of the dudes that I've looked up to on YouTube for a really, really long time. So anytime I have the opportunity to talk with him in any format, it's honestly awesome. Like I said, you would have told me this 15 years ago, I'd have told you you're crazy. But and then virtually meeting Manny and Frank, and I subscribe to both your guys' channels as well, because I'm like, hey, if I dig the conversation and the vibe, it's like, all right, so yeah, it was fun. And I just hope that something we talked about tonight inspired someone or answered a question or whatever, because that's what we're here to do. I mean, aside from cancel these two, I genuinely never thought someone would come on Piss's channel and shit talk Bucky, but here we are. So,
well, it's the last time that will happen, I assure you. If Eli, if you're still here, please, if you'll put everybody's links in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Manny, where can we find you on social media, and what have you got coming up on your channel?
Yeah, so it's BoogeyManny. Pretty much just kind of search that up on YouTube. On Instagram, that's the only one that I couldn't secure. BoogeyManny, someone took it, so it's BoogeyManny. I believe it's _YT on Instagram. But if you go to TikTok, I'm on there, BoogeyManny, YouTube, BoogeyManny. And like I said earlier in the stream, my wife and I have a Little Debbie Christmas treat video coming out that drops Saturday. It's going to ruffle some feathers.
Trigger warning.
No, Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It was all fun. So just that's going to be the next one. I do have a Halloween 6 that I'm working on, but that's still probably not until later on. But yeah, those are the next things on my channel.
Cool. Frank, where can we find you, and what have you got coming up on your channel?
Yeah, Frank's Media and Reviews, on YouTube and Instagram. I'm just trying to think, man. I know that I have some great unboxings that I have coming up. I'm really excited to watch John Woo's Hard Boiled and do a review for that. Man, I am digging those Hong Kong cinema films. I absolutely love it. So, just diving into new movies and just reviews and unboxings. Yeah, I buy a lot of shit and I love it, man. I love collecting. I love watching new movies and
Me too.
owning movies, and so very passionate about it. So
Right on. Nick, where can we find you on social media, and what have you got coming up on your channel?
So you guys can find me at Pizow on YouTube. No, it's the Lost River Drive-In on YouTube and Instagram. Twitter, no, I couldn't get the Lost River Drive-In because I guess I don't think it exists anymore, but there was a real drive-in theater that took the handle, the Lost River Drive-In. So it's the Lost River DR1. And then tomorrow's the Friday the 13th Hot Takes video. And there's some hot ones in there for sure. And then I say this all the time. After that, I have no idea. I just go a day at a time. So the next day's video idea will come to me at some point tomorrow at work. And we just kind of go down the line like that. So if you feel inclined to hear somebody say some crazy stuff to piss you off, that's where to find me.
There you go. Very cool. I've actually got something Little Debbie related coming out very soon too. So
wait. Is this a taste test one? Is this a taste?
No, it's an unboxing.
Okay.
Of some Christmas tree cake paraphernalia. I'm smoking them now.
Wow.
Do you crush it up? Oh wow.
Next, it's just going to be injecting them. That's how deep I am.
Liquid Debbie. Oh man.
Oh man. But I've got that video coming out pretty soon. I've got an Anchor Bay retrospective video coming out very soon. I've heard the audience. I am going to do another Man Cave tour, an updated tour very soon. Got some reviews, all that good stuff coming out soon too. So, but I just want to thank you gentlemen again for taking the time to hang out with us and shoot the bull. And shout out to Monster B for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that, sir. And let's see who's still with us here tonight. Evan, the movie guy, thank you for being here. Pumpkin J, thank you for being here. David, thank you for free bait. There you go, free bait.
free base.
Brian Trash, thank you for being here. Tony, Hillbilly Tech, Insomniac, Polydactyl Productions, Alley Stars, Eli, good man Eli, Goofy Goober, thank you for being here. McHorror, thank you for hanging out with us. Let's see, who else did we have? Drew's Movie Club, MVE Fan. Yeah, thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it. And you guys have a great rest of your night. We will see you again very soon. Until then, peace.